Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Hey, it is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. We've got Ross McCoy here. How you doing, Ross?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's going on?
We got Tony Munjet here.
Hey.
What up, dirty birdies?
We're going to talk about your guys' trip to Babymetal.
Yeah. We did a
earlier
lot
this week.
We did a lot of stuff this week. We were
Saw
out and
Tony Hawk
about.
last night.
Yeah, we saw Tony Hawk, not just in
Wow.
passing. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, we're live on Twitch and YouTube. Like and subscribe. Go to YouTube and subscribe. And you can watch this podcast every Monday through Friday. And obviously, just like this Friday free show.
Let me plug a few things real quick. The Sanford Food Truck Fiesta is this Sunday. It is from noon to 4. It's back to the original time because the weather is nicer. I had been promoting 3 to 6 because they changed it during the summer. But anyway, so that's on Sunday. And then also History After Dark, November 21st. That's your chance to go see the Orange County Regional History Center.
I think most
for
people
free.
know that our details are scattered.
Yeah.
By now-
just search the thing in Google.
Yeah,
all the info is right.
But just to be sure, we should go through all the other times that the food truck fiesta isn't. Like, it's not.
Should we? I
It's
think we
not
should.
like midnight to 1 in the morning.
right.
Don't show up then.
Yeah, that would be bad. Don't do
Either
that.
day, on either side of it. don't.
Correct.
Also, our free beer fest and the Sanford Sofa Races is happening November 23rd and 24th. Both those events are free. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving, like it always is. So make sure to set your calendars to come
I
out.
can tell you from experience, there's nothing like pushing a couch down the street in Sanford with a wicked beer hangover. It's something.
And also, Daniel and I will be at a charity event tomorrow called Cows and Cabs. Which
Yeah, but are you going to do it? Are you going to go full cow? You got to go full cow.
I thought it's a super fancy Winter Park charity event that everybody's been telling me that.
Then why are they letting cabbies in?
I thought the cows was just beef and the cabs was wine, and it was kind of like a play on words.
Yeah, it's steak and wine. You just walk around and throw money in the air. Steak and wine.
But then Daniel told me that everybody does dress like a cowboy. And
Well, no, hold on. I did not say that. He's putting words in my mouth and he's making it sound fucking stupid.
If that's wrong, let him believe it.
Yeah.
But
please,
that's not what I
until-
said.
No, he showed- I looked at
but
the pictures.
But listen to what he said. He's like, everybody's going there dressed like a clown. That's not what I said. I said that it is Western themed. That's what I said. I didn't say everybody there is dressed like a cowboy. That's different. If everybody there is dressed like Roy Rogers, that's completely different.
And then if I don't dress like a cowboy, then everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, you think you're better than us?"
Hey, we got a whole
Dan.
stick of the mud
No,
over
I just
here.
think
We got a
he
poo
wants
in the
to.
toilet.
He wants to dress like a cowboy. He's been dressing like an S&M.
Yeah. He likes dressing up.
Addict.
You want to get out your Yellowstone fantasies. You want to Beth Dutt in your wife's titties.
Please let him go to this thing in an adult medium Woody costume that didn't sell at the Halloween store.
Anyway.
No, but it is. I believe it is an actual cowboy themed, and that's why after today, like after the show today, I think I'm gonna, get in my electric horse and ride on down to Shepler's and see if I can find myself a good right shirt.
You
tomorrow.
already have the hat. And
I do
the
have
whole
a
thing.
hat. I do have a hat, but I can't wear ripped jeans, right? That's not very cowboy.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, you can rip your jeans on a horse. What about boots? Boots, I feel like is the
I don't have
most-
boots.
You gotta go. You gotta get some
Should I get boots? Cheap boots, or
Absolutely.
should I go all in on big boots?
I don't know. How cowboy are you willing
I
to
want to
go?
go really cowboy.
Yeah, it just depends on which side of the country cowboy you're in. If you're on this side, you're probably steel toes are probably good.
Okay.
If you're on the other side, the Western cowboys, you're talking about more classy, your classic cowboy boots.
Where's the quickest place to get a pair of Mexican dancing boots? The pointies, where you grab the.
I mean, flea market. It's going to be my first guess.
You don't hear a lot about. I'm sure they exist, but you don't hear about the Eastern cowboys at all. Like you never hear about the fastest hand east of the Mississippi.
Yeah. There had to have been some, right?
I guess, yeah.
So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about your concert experience at Babymetal.
We may have had a confrontation or 5.
Well,
It may have been the most reckless. I mean, it was just 3 reckless men out for blood.
That's okay. This is not why I didn't go. I'll tell you that later.
Oh, by the way, chat room is giving me some great suggestions to make you uncomfortable as retribution for you skipping Babymetal. Because I had the ability to bring you along.
Yeah, you guys did have an extra ticket.
We had
You
an extra
invited me.
ticket. They're asking me to go just mustache only, and I think I might do that. Cowboy hat, mustache only.
So-
Sheriff badge.
That night was Max's breakdancing night, so I had planned to take him, so that's why I didn't go.
Yeah.
But also,
You couldn't get anybody else to take it. That would be crazy.
Literally the worst excuse ever.
Yeah, and it's good luck to always be there, right? Like, you don't want to break the system.
What is this, the breakdancing championships?
Why
or
would
was
you
this
want?
like-
Why
just
would you want mom to
practice.
take
Just
it?
practice?
Why would
We're
you
talking
want
about
mom to-
practice?
Yeah.
Olympics qualifier?
but there were Crystal doing something. I guess I could have my mom. Anyway,
You didn't want to hang with us bros.
the other
We're
going
just a couple of bros driving around listening to Rogan, jacking each other off.
when going somewhere with Ross, it does open yourself up to
I
confrontation.
like it. It's exciting.
I've been
It's
listening.
I
Ross
like it.
is-
It's like riding shotgun in Indiana Jones's motorcycle. The sidecar.
You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, I feel like I'm short round in Indiana Jones's motorcycle.
You're like, grab the flagpole.
Break the glass. They can't arrest all of us.
We only had one major vehicular incident. That's all.
Well, I mean,
And we saw another one.
Yeah,
but-
we saw another one.
It's-
Do you want the first one? Do you want the first vehicular incident?
Okay, yeah, I do. Yeah, because it is almost like Ross is looking for it.
No. I was
no.
there. I was there.
Not his fault.
2 witnesses. Two witnesses right here.
So it's like me and my bumbling. It just somehow happens to me over and over. It's not none of my doing.
that's actually not a bad. That's not bad. That's not
Because
bad.
after a while, I had to admit to myself that I must be causing this.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you remember like?
This I've kind of vaguely, but I don't have a real good handle.
Okay,
I'm sure
so
you guys as like
I
full
will say
spectators
though,
probably have a better
I'll give you
handle.
props. This is the first time I ever rode in a car with Ross here. I will say you're a very
He's a great
defensive driver.
He's a great driver.
Like
You
he's
are.
not
You're a good driver.
aggressive. He's just kind of going with the flow.
And you go fast, but you're not. You're just fast and defensive, but you're not aggressive.
Yeah,
But
I want
so
to get there.
We're driving into
above all.
Universal. We're going to the normal, like where you go in and you're going to like the parking garage area.
Ah.
And we get into that area where it's like, what is it, like 9 lanes? Yeah. And then all the way to the right, there's like a line of palm trees, like you're in Hollywood or something. It's starting to look very universally there.
Yeah.
Right when you come through the parking gates and that kind of funnel you down to get you into the
Yeah,
lot.
and there's a bunch of lines, and people when they get there, and I feel it because I'm an anxiety guy, I think when you get there, it is the first point in time that sort of looks universally, so I think you get excited, and you kind of want to like, I gotta get in there.
Right.
So people are kind of like, they're doing that move where everybody's like trying to cut. So Ross, slows all the way down and stops, and then the guy behind him, like he like comes up on you like he's gonna smash into you, and then he goes to go around you, and then you're like, you can go ahead, and then he doesn't want to go, right?
Yeah, like I think I gave him room, but eventually you run out of room.
Right.
There's, the 2 lanes come together at a certain point, so I had to go by
So
him.
the man floors it.
or woman.
Or woman. That's true. Thank you. That's true.
You don't have to say that anymore.
we're
we have
fine
a
now.
new policy of saying anything we want at any time, any words.
So they floor it.
Doesn't
and,
matter.
And I swear to God, it like the person takes off and fishtails the car, like when you've lost control of your car completely. And it comes, 5 inches from smashing into one of the huge palm trees. It's like, wow! And like fishtails, and then it catches back up. They drift, and then and then they shoot down the exit. And then we're like, okay, Jesus Christ. So that's the first thing we had.
So now I know Ross isn't causing this, but I have to say that
no.
it has to be, again, back to I'm blaming it on myself.
Orb.
Like I said, the orb, this is some sort of magic. Why does it keep happening to me? But over and over, I had to keep telling myself, like,
what if we
this
learned
must
that
be
there,
your fault?
What if
This
we
has to
learned
be
that
me.
there were different practices and there was Bumble and Rage? Right? Like, what if there were different, like, it's like a different form of mana?
In like Avatar, The Last Airbender, you know.
Yeah,
he's a bumble bender.
Yeah, it's
sure.
a different style. But anyway, yeah, so that was the first one.
To Tom's point, I also remember my old minivan? The first day I got my minivan, I took my kids to Universal, and I got rear-ended in that exact same spot by a guy who just got all excited coming through the gate, and like just as you have to slow down to make that turn in the parking lot.
Right.
Slow down, and the guy just ran right into me. And then he was mad at me, and I was like,
Hold on. So the exact same thing happened a year ago?
Lightning.
no, this is like 10, 12 years
Oh,
ago. This
it's
is
12 years
forever
ago.
ago.
Oh my God!
But
it
it
was the
was
exact same date. It was the exact same date. Exact same time.
It was the exact same kind of thing with the same car.
Within 25 feet on Earth, the same-ish
That's
thing.
badass. That's consistent.
Again,
That's
like,
awesome.
What are the chances?
Yeah, that's like having your wallet stolen out of your car 9 times.
What are the chances of these things happening?
You guys are competing wizards. I'm telling you. I think I figured it out. There's different forms of mana at play here.
So Babymetal.
Oh, man. Before even that, though, we
Yeah.
go to get our tickets.
Yeah, well, we go to get our tickets, and we have to go to Will Call to pick up, because I had purchased a table. It wasn't a hookup. They gave me a break, I'll be honest. They gave me a really good deal. But I literally bought the first ticket sold to that concert because it's one of the only times I've used a connection.
It is odd that of all the years of the radio stuff, like I figured out the radio hookup like 2 months into my internship. I was like, well, they're getting a lot of free shit in here. Immediately, I was asking everybody as much as possible.
Give me that.
And then now to the point, it is hard for me to even pay for a ticket because of so long of free tickets and trying to get grifts and shit.
Well,
like,
LT, she's so awesome, and those of you that are local have known her on JRR as both a personality and now working at
Hard Rock Live.
At Hard Rock Live. So
And they were the best seats in the venue.
Yeah, they were.
you got the table.
I bought the first table. It was the first ticket sold to that show because I just didn't think I'd ever get to see him again, and I got a great deal on it. So I bought the table.
That will play into effect later.
Yeah, so I bought the table. I called at 10 a.m. the day they went on sale. The lady even told me, you are the first ticket sold. I go, that's a neat thing to say. Like kind of cool. So I bought this table. We go to the will call. We get our 4 tickets.
Before we even get to the will call, there's so many people there, and there are like
I haven't seen a show this packed out in a minute.
10 employees out front who are shouting. You immediately walk up, and they're all shouting at you, line forms that way, line forms that way, line forms that way. They're trying to get you to the end of the line. We went through this oscillation of like feeling special and feeling not. So like we went up to them, and we were able to skip them because we were going to will call. So we got our will call tickets, and then we went to the guy, and we were like, do we get to skip the line and all? He's like, nope, back in line. So, like, we're up, we're down. And the line, Dan, how long would you say it was?
God,
I
dude.
mean,
All told, like a quarter mile?
maybe more.
And it was like a weird
I think a little more than a quarter mile.
If you
it
know
was a lot.
If you know the geography of CityWalk, okay, so, like, the end point is to get into the Hard Rock. The line started over at the Islands of Adventure gate side.
Yeah.
It came the whole way across the lagoon to the Universal Studios side.
Yeah.
Past the globe?
Yeah. Oh,
No,
right.
we're on the other side
yeah,
of the
we
lagoon.
went to the Globe.
But
Yeah, we got to the Globe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, we are on that side. So yeah,
Yeah.
from the island's entrance all the way to the Globe.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you go up to the Globe, you turn, you
And
kind
you
of
wrap
follow
around the
You
Globe.
follow the curbing, and you do like a little cutout shape too to like incorporate some more people, and then from there back to the Hard Rock, and that was the line to get in.
God damn.
Yeah.
What's the audience for Babymetal? Like
Everybody in the world.
everybody. Huge.
Yeah.
It's
young
huge.
people,
No, but I'm just saying
old
the demo.
metalheads.
Oh yeah, it was a wild swing between like us, old gray bearded
Yeah.
dudes,
Yeah.
and like well, maybe Scene Queen threw it off because there was a lot of young ladies there too.
Young ladies, kids.
But I think there was a lot of young ladies from Babymetal as
there
well.
were some kids. You saw a lot of dudes that
And-
wanted to kidnap Babymetal and kill them.
There
Some
was
of those guys are there. So the guys that want to do bad things to them, those guys were. I was surrounded by those guys.
We're kind of skipping ahead, but they incorporate this thing that Dan and Tony taught me about called like a circle mosh pit. where you circle in the middle. I'm just used to the old 90s like rough and tumble mosh pit.
Yeah, you know the circle pit.
You mosh like in a general direction, and so it all kind of stays in the middle.
Yeah.
And so like your traditional, what I would call like 90s mosh guy, like 20 to 30-year-old guy wearing suspenders only, and just like a little friendly moshing down there too.
I want to give props to the Hard Rock because even they keep their staff rock and roll themed. We had Jonathan Davis from Korn.
It looked exactly like it. Yeah.
One of the security guys. Yeah.
And then we had the bass player for...
He was checking tickets at the door.
Yeah, he was getting tickets.
I like when people are moshing and then someone's just standing there minding their own business.
Oh, there was a lot of that.
Oh, there was so much of that.
There was a lot of that.
And then the person that's moshing just kicks backwards into the person's face. And then she's like, you just kicked a random guy in the face.
Yeah.
The guy who didn't even ask for it.
This circle mosh kind of had like a towards the stage's pressure. So like it's in the middle of the little arena.
Yeah.
But like everybody between that and the stage was constantly getting pancaked. Just like constantly getting squished.
And I will say, from experience, that was a small circle pit.
Yeah, it wasn't like out of control or anything.
Yeah.
I've seen some crazier ones.
Yeah.
At
I'm surprised
different
they
shows.
even let it happen.
I was glad that they let it happen, and the girls actually called for it. At one point, Sue Metal.
Sue Metal.
So Babymetal.
Yeah, she came out and she
we're not
parted
even
the sea.
We're
and-
not even to Babymetal. We're so far away from Babymetal.
Yeah.
Back to the up and down. So we wait the 1,000,000-mile line.
Yeah,
we
oh my
get
God.
in. And our tickets take us to secret staircase that only we can access with our tickets.
Yes.
So we're back
now
up.
this is, I've never
We're
had this
back up.
before, dude. Like this, I've bought a lot of seats. I've had a lot of free seats.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of lows. You know that.
We got some looks.
I never had secret staircase, so we had the secret staircase with like a personal lady that when you showed her the ticket, she was like, "Oh yes, right to the top. They're expecting you." I'm
And
like,
more
what?
importantly, keeping everybody else out.
Yeah.
So we go up to the upper level and we go over to we figure
You
out
go
which
right to a
side we're
bar.
on.
There you go right to this like a ginormous bar.
Tom, these tickets come with special bars. They come with special bathrooms. Like we were, 30 steps from the bathroom.
30 maybe.
That
maybe
nobody
30
on the
steps.
floor, millions of people couldn't access. It was amazing. It was so fun.
Five poop holes.
So we
Like,
figure out
like clean as hell. You could go in there. You could go in there and vape. You could go in there and diarrhea.
we figure out like which grouping of 20-ish tables we're in, but we don't know which table. So we wait until a guy comes. This is confrontation of the week, by the way. I don't know if you need to.
Oh, do you want to do it? They love it. They really do love it. I mean, they want. And you know what? It's on brand because it's very aggressive.
Now, before we start this,
Okay, hold on. I stopped it.
this is a little bit of a percentage of the reason. What
are you talking about?
That when I heard this group of people are going to Babymetal, that I was
so
like,
you were
I gotta take my
cautious?
son.
What do you mean by these people?
I need to help out Spindy and the rest of the breakdancers.
I'm just doing the math. I'm like, this is going to be some awkward confrontation.
What, you don't
that
like
I'm going to be
you don't like
involved in.
adventure? You don't like adventure?
All right.
Here we go.
What do you mean? You need to see ID. No, I won't get my wife. You'll deal with me.
There should be a Babymetal version of this.
Man.
And the problem is Daniel will let it happen, and then Tony will just keep his mouth shut. So there's no one
What do you mean
to
let
calm
it? What do you
Ross.
mean let it happen?
there's no one to calm Ross down.
Oh, he
I'm
doesn't
saying,
need,
like,
he's an adult. He doesn't need calming down.
I'd say,
That's
like, hey,
insulting.
hey.
That is insulting.
Before I even tell you what happened, I will tell you that Tony Rage was acting like he wasn't any part of it. That was his reaction. Daniel was staring at it like it was the Super Bowl happening 2 inches
He
away
likes
from
it.
I
him.
do love
He
it.
was
I do
into
love
it.
it. I'm here
I
for
know,
it.
that's what I-
I'm there for a good
I know I
ass
was right.
time. I'm there for a good ass
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And then I knew I was predicting. I was like, me and Tony are going to be embarrassed.
And I'm saying things like this. I'm saying things like this that I don't even know if Ross is picking up on, right? Like, you could tell me if you were hearing these, but I was launching little bombs like this. I was like, is that bitch in my seats?
Oh, no.
I was like, I was like, I paid for these. These are my fucking seats,
right.
man. I paid for these seats. I'm launching little ones like that.
So what
little
happened?
instigators.
So we're at
No
table.
instigators.
We're at table C, but the tables are not in any way labeled. So we can't figure out which table C is the issue. So we flag down a Hard Rock employee, we show him our tickets, and we're like, can you just show us where our ticket or where our seat is, please? And so he looks at us, and he kind of looks over, and he looks back at us, and he goes, oh, hold on.
Okay.
And we look over, and there's some old red-headed bitch.
I think it was 3 people.
Stankin' ass bitch.
It was 3 people.
I think at the point where this starts, it's 3 people at what
stank-ass
turns out to
redhead
be
bitch.
our table, which again is the best table in the place. If it was like,
You know
if it
why
was
it
between
was the
second
best?
and third,
You know, always the best.
you went through
I was
a
the
bunch
first.
of.
I was the first person to call Ross.
So
Okay, well, just sit at any table. Just sit at the
Look
table
at this
next
guy.
to it.
Look at this guy. You
It's
don't,
all-
you don't deserve to sit at the best
Just
table.
know that
you don't deserve to sit there. You
had
can't
you
handle the
been
drink.
there, had you been there, it would have not been as good.
How dare you?
We had
You're
the
supposed to
perfect,
be like me. God, you sound like Crystal Van.
we
You
had
sound
the
like Crystal
perfect
Van.
spacing between the 3 of us.
We did.
It
We
was
really.
perfect.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
It was
actually,
amazing
there's
because the
just
chairs
a-
are a little big because
the
they have to
table-
make them big for the Brits.
perfect for 3.
The chairs are a little. The chairs were for sizable asses.
So it turns out there's 3 people posted up at our table, and
Okay.
so the guy goes over
Red-haired bitch.
and he lets them know that that's not their table, but right next to them, the second best table in the house, that's what they're ticketed for. And this takes this gentleman, the guy worked for the Hard Rock. Shout out to him. He was so nice and professional.
Oh, they're so pro.
And but insistent
good.
because it's all just there on the tickets. And these ladies berated him and were very rude and brought up a number of factors that had no bearing, which including like party sizes of various people. Like they made a big case at one point, like, no, we're going to take the best table in the house that Dan waited for and got specifically because we have a party of 4 and those people over there have a party of 3. We're just standing over there. These ladies start dragging us into it. Like out of nowhere. They kind of assume it was us and start dragging us into it.
That's what I would have been like, no, don't.
You can have anything you want. I'll suck your dick.
No. I would be telling them, don't rile him up. You don't understand what you're doing. Listen, he's been training for this his whole life. I've heard a story after story of just the same
He has a
scenario.
samurai sword in his trunk.
He can't wait to yell at someone. That's what I think. So these ladies are like, they refuse to
Well,
move.
they had already been sitting there and drinking drinks. I
For
also
a
want to
while.
establish that they had been there for a minute, just sitting and drinking drinks, like enjoying it as if it were their seats.
Which kind of makes me think that if we had maybe made the guy outside look at our tickets, we might have been ushered in a little bit earlier. I think there's like an outside chance we maybe didn't have to wait in that line.
I
Because
thought
you're
so,
right.
too.
Those ladies were at our seats and sloshed.
Yeah, yeah, they were
Way
feeling,
before we got
They were
up there.
feeling great. They were feeling great.
Now, with all this being said, if this was me, I would have sat at the second best table, and then in my head,
Now, wait a
called
minute.
myself
I
a
will
pussy
say-
the whole time.
No, but it
Pussy.
did have a little bit more of an obstructed view.
We saw way better.
Yeah, we
Oh,
already
way
missed
better,
out
way
on
better.
we already missed out on the first guitarist, and that kind of sucked.
I didn't understand there was another guy there until way
Yeah,
later. but
first
it's-
guitarist is who I wanted to see. It's fine.
Interesting.
Second guitarist is amazing. But
Interesting.
But the point is that if we had been over a little bit more,
We couldn't even see the drummer.
Correct. Correct. And I'm like, no, not gonna happen.
Absolutely not.
And before I even had a chance to do that, it was like having a better person. It was like having a better fighter on the car. I'm like, well, this guy's better equipped for this.
So, what'd you do, Ross? Because I
No, he
imagine
didn't do anything.
I stood there with Tony Rage, and like Tony Rage turned away and tried to pretend he wasn't there. Dan stared at it like Trump looking at the sun with
I
with
love
the
that. With no
with-
goggles.
Yeah, exactly.
I was holding my Bible up.
And I kind of was mixed between the two. I'll admit it. I kind of giggled like a little girl while it was happening. I was just standing there, just like giggling with delight. And every time, like, they would make a poor case, and the guy would be like, "No, that doesn't matter." I would turn to Dan and go,
But didn't they say something to you?
She said something. She got up.
Because she didn't
Okay.
think we had 4
Right.
tickets.
And she looked at me in the eye and she goes, well, we have 4 people. And I said, well, we
right.
have 4 tickets too.
which is true.
Which is true. We had 4
Tom
tickets.
didn't want to come because he
And
didn't like Tom.
Exactly.
And then you made me hold it up. And then you told me to hold. You were like, "We have 4 tickets because the guy that would have ruined this is not here."
It's a breakdancing
You're
championship.
lucky the
with
guy
a
that
son.
would have given you this table isn't here.
and he's not here because of this exact situation that he
This
predicted
is
would
a
happen.
snake eating its tail, ma'am.
This whole thing was foreseen. It could not have not happened. It had to have happened. So when did you get involved?
No, you made me hold on. You made me hold up the tickets to show her
Yes.
that we had. So Tony Rage made me hold up 2 tickets to show the red-haired bitch I'm like, you red-haired bitch, look at these 2 tickets.
I mean, because you got to
bitch."
think about it. These people are going to be sitting inches away from us. So it's not like it's going to just end there. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't want to say that and not back it up. Like, we have 4 tickets.
Right.
Yeah,
Whether
so
it's just
Tony's
the 3
like-
of us,
and then Tony's like,
who gives a shit?
Tony's like, show them the tickets. And I'll go, okay, and I show them the tickets.
It was kind of a case of beside the point, but whatever. We can beat that too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Oh, which also is weird.
Is this making
because-
you a little uncomfortable?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
All
I
right.
wouldn't want nothing to do with this. But it is also weird. Like even if you was just one person, it's like this is the table I paid for.
Right.
I would prefer it.
That was my whole point.
And then
Correct.
and then that's just
Hey,
how this whole.
hey,
it's how constant works. Like
And
I
you
pay
guys
for
know
this
I
seat.
said this. Had I been given comps, and I was not. Had I been given comps and she paid, I might be willing to be like,
Interesting.
God, they gave me free tickets. Sure, take it. It's fine.
That's a
Well,
good
but
point,
they
too.
didn't.
But-
I bought these fucking tickets.
And again, end of the day, we didn't have to do anything. The Hard Rock took care of it.
Yeah,
they
that guy
moved
was- that guy
them.
was great.
They
Well-
wiped our table down.
but
and
they
the
were
only,
not happy the rest of the night.
The only accommodation they asked for was like they took one of our chairs, and we were like,
Yeah.
okay, Tom can't make it anyway, so here, take
Yeah.
the
It
chair.
was,
Take
it
a
was
chair.
better that they took it.
And-
But you see what happened afterwards? I don't know
Yes.
if you
So just to finish out the story of this table, the whole rest of the night, it started with 3 people at the table. They made a huge fuss. Between then and the end of the show, there's an opening act and an end of the Babymetal, and then the end of the show. Between when we sorted the table mess out and the end of the show, I'm going to say 18 different people sat at that table. So different, including one man who was 7.2 feet tall and took his legs and put them like up against like the railing bracing and pushed the chair all the way back against the guard so that for us to walk to the private bathroom, which again was like so
Yes.
amazing and so good, we had to squeeze between this man's chair and the edge of
Yeah.
like the other
And it
seating.
was like- it was literally-
I could barely squeeze
Yeah.
my legs through. I had to like get my ass up over his chair and put my ass all
couldn't
across his
squeeze
shoulders
through.
to go pee.
I
tried.
pushed the guy, and then he turned around and he moved forward like an inch. So I kept pushing him, and then one of the staff from
Goddamn,
Hard
Ripley's
Rock
Believe It or Not legs
came
out of
to
here.
me.
Goddamn.
She came to me and she goes like, "It might be better if you go around all the way around," and I had to like bite my tongue on that one because that shouldn't be. I'm literally like 2 feet from the steps.
Yeah.
Now all you guys are just piss in a bottle. Don't bother anybody. This guy wants to put his long legs up.
They were. I mean, they were. His legs are longer than I am. They were humongous.
It's true.
And then what was up with the ginormous other guy that sat at the very, very top? The guy, he was part of their crew too, wasn't he?
Was he? Okay, because that's the guy. If you look,
I think they had
Probably.
both. Yeah, it was.
So
it
was the whole night awkward? Were these people?
No.
no, just going to pee. That was it.
I will say though, I had a couple times when I was trying to chant along with the band, and I elbowed the chair off the lady twice, and
motherfucker.
she did turn around and give me a look, and I'm like,
Hilarious.
"Oh, shit,
It's
we're
like,
at
you'll be
concert."
deported soon.
So
And then we're almost to Babymetal, but like the popcorn at the Hard Rock, 10 out of 10 popcorn.
Yeah,
it is.
It
so
is
amazing.
really, really good. Very
Dude.
fattening. Very salty. Like super tasty. The pretzel, it's okay. Not bad.
Opening act.
Sliders were great.
Oh yeah. Opening act. Scene Queen, very good.
Scene Queen didn't have a bass player, which bothered me and Tony.
And Tony, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
bands
don't like
that-
a band with no.
That's
bass player.
popular though. I've seen like especially in
I've seen it too. I'm not saying.
Yeah, it's-
I'm not a fan.
the kids. They like the band. They can do anything now. They're like, we can just have a singer and a guitar. So we're good.
As a music ignoramus, didn't even notice.
Yeah, she was cute though. She's very cute. Scream Queen.
And athletic, a lot of knee drops.
Yeah, and very aggressive towards men.
Oh yeah. She's like a lot of cutting boners off.
Oh, there was, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of like, you want to make out? Let me rip your cock off and stick it in your eye.
okay.
A lot of songs about band guys being pieces of shit.
Yeah.
When she has 2 of them in her band.
Yeah.
And not a single female in her band
She's like,
other than her.
She's like, you don't like my band? I'll cut your fucking boner off.
Well, I do know a lot of band guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're great guys. They're great. Great guys. Wonderful guys.
I mean, they're rough around the edges. It's a hard living.
Yeah, I'm definitely on her team. And did you know who the special guest she was that she brought out?
No.
I felt like that was her actual
Boyfriend. Yeah, I thought so too. So it's Scene Queen.
Correct,
Right? Yeah.
yes.
So Scene Queen brings out this guy to sing with her, and I thought the same thing too. I thought that was like her actual boyfriend. But
Nerd
what's
boyfriend.
weird is that it was like the band is like kind of like aggressively hot topicy gothy like
Mullets, like,
Yeah.
trendy, bleach hair.
And this
super
guy
trendy.
comes out looking like he's a member of Trailer Park Boys. You know, like did he look like
did.
something
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like
The song-
Letterkenny? He looked like Letterkenny.
Yep.
It was Barbie and Ken. I thought he was dressed kind of like Kenny. I thought that's what it was. He kind of like had slacks and kind of a Ricky shirt, like a
His name
Ricky
is
button-up
Joey.
shirt.
All right.
Yeah,
But I
he's-
think that was like his version of like, and she calls her thing. I forget. Like it's like, what does she call it? It's like bimbo punk or something like that. It was kind of like a bimbo core. It was like maybe kind of a bimbo core version of Ken is what I think. he was
Okay,
going for.
all right. So like her, all right. Her
Yeah.
version of that song they did for Barbie. So it's kind of like that. But yeah, it's good.
And
It was a
Tom,
good night.
we're finally to Babymetal.
Okay, so but all these bands kind of have the theme of something like abnormal.
Yes.
Tied into
Different.
the
Alternative
different
metal.
Yeah, because Babymetal is the three singers started with like Japanese teenage girls.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
And
think
then
even
now they're in
younger.
20
When
I think they were
started,
younger.
When they
I-
started with the SG group or whatever. They're like
11 to
8-year-olds.
12. Oh, 8? Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they you go into it's almost like a program. It's like a training program, and you go into
Yeah.
it, and then I think they were picked for a band, and I think at their first single they were like between like 11 and maybe 14.
Yeah.
And now they're in their 20s, but I mean they've made their own genre. They've had multiple albums and multiple hits.
So Tom, going to this show, we range between. I know a couple of songs, and Dan knows a bit about the band, and like he's seen some stuff online.
yeah.
Meanwhile, Tony Rage over here knows full choreography.
Oh yeah,
for
he's
songs.
singing all
It
of them.
is,
Okay, all right, all
and he is like doing it.
Which
like,
you,
again,
which probably would have made you even more uncomfortable. Because you got to do the fox, and then you got to like when it's thrashing, you go like.
Okay, you were telling me about that. The fox is basically the devil horns,
here.
but a variation where you
Yeah.
take your thumb and middle
And I
fingers.
think the story behind that is that these girls did not know metal. They just got kind of hired to do this. And when they were kind of learning about it, they saw people doing the devil horns, and they did it this way for those watching, which it resembles a fox.
kind of like a cross
and
between
then-
Devil Horns and an
Yeah.
OK.
And then they went and took that and ran with it and made it like a fox thing.
and that's their gimmick.
That's their little thing. yeah.
okay, all right.
So let me tell you, Tom, Tony Rage is sitting there doing the fox. Like he's sitting there doing the
foxing
full
around.
choreography to this song.
It is a little when it started when the red lights come on and it's like June 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 and everybody's
they
putting
do
their
like-
hands up.
okay.
I mean, it feels very like
No,
feels
there
like we're
was
about
an
to-
energy.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
like we're
definite
about to
energy.
sacrifice some shit here, man. We're about to do some shit.
But like halfway into the show, I don't even like I said. I know like a couple songs. It was a song I didn't know, but Tony Rage knew the full choreography. He's doing it, and Babymetal had a thing. They would like they had three little risers up front, and they would like jump up on the risers, do stuff, run back around. They had full choreography for all the songs. Amazing. At one point, the girls like switch risers. This girl jumps onto the riser, looks up at us in like the good seats, and sees Tony Rage doing the same hand
This is true.
choreography
This is 100%
that she's
true.
doing, and she makes eye contact with him and like gives him a little like double fox. I swear to God. And like I saw Tony go like he kind of like froze and was like, "Did that happen?" And I slapped him and I was like, "Tony, she looked at you and gave you a little double fox." And he was like, "Yeah, it did happen." He started.
Yeah.
And
then I
he
said-
started
and then I got him.
freaking out.
I got
a bone.
No, I got you. I got you. Remember
The
what I
table
said?
did thump
I
from the
said-
bottom.
Remember what I said? I go, why don't you get her a rose from 7-Eleven?
Yeah, he did. That was
I have to say, man, I met Tony Hawk yesterday. Not as good.
Yes, I agree.
I was
I
getting
agree.
a double horn.
The energy of looking into like a super young-looking Asian woman's eyes. It's better. It was better that Tony.
It was
cool.
more than that though.
Tony Hawk was cool. He's very nice, but man, does he look old. These girls, like when
He's
you
like
look
a
at
young
him,
Japanese
oh my God,
teen.
you stare into this girl's eyes. I swear to
20-something.
God, it's like looking.
I mean,
it's like
19.
moonlight reflecting off of porcelain.
But she also she looked at him and saw him doing the thing, and
Yeah.
she wanted to let him know, hey, I see you, and you're
Yeah.
crushing
did.
it, dude.
Tom,
you're crushing.
She's like,
it.
There's like 12,000 people there.
so many.
She picked me.
She did. She did. There
for
was
one- to
there
be
were
fair, for one
thousands of
second.
people there, and she gave you the double fox.
I think that was maybe I needed to go backstage and be like, "Hey, I'm the guy," and then
Yeah. Hey, I don't. Do you
You
remember?
fucking
like-
old men didn't even want to wait in the T-shirt line. You're going backstage now. Jesus
No,
Christ.
it's too late. It
Dude,
was
I
too
wanted
late.
to get a
Was it double
scene queen
foxing?
T-shirt, Tom.
Yeah.
These guys were like, we could just also leave.
Well, that's what I like about
Also,
her.
Andrea has me trained. Andrea's like $40 for a T-shirt because she's so goddamn cheap.
Yeah, they have to you leave leave before the mass rush of people getting out of there. We're just stuck in the goddamn parking garage.
Well, no, I don't try. I try not to leave early anymore. I stay to the end of concerts now.
That's what was interesting about it. Like we started to walk out, and I feel like the way they had it set up for the merch table, people didn't realize that you could kind of move around. That's when he saw the table. It's like there's like barely anybody there. And as soon as he said that, that's when people started looking over. I'm like, oh shit, we can cut through here and get to the table. And in minutes, it was just people started rushing the table.
That actually wasn't the case. We kind of walked up behind. The merch tables, and we were like, I was like, oh, I think we can just sneak right in there and get merch.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, no, the merch line starts so far away you can't even see it. That's the problem. So,
yeah,
and
it
so,
was like being back in the snake that we started.
I missed that
in.
part.
Yeah. And so that's why I was like, yeah, well, you guys will just leave.
Hey, thank you guys for going with me. That was super fun.
We're not done yet. You forgot the one you reminded me about that I just remembered.
Oh yes. Oh,
So
black guy in a diaper.
We're leaving. The parking garage did take forever to exit.
Okay.
I think there was another near collision on my part. We get out. We get to the exit where I kind of like sneaking out the back way and go and find the interstate, like away from all the hillbillies or whatever. But like, so we go out and I think it's Kirkman there.
Something like that.
We're waiting to turn around to Kirkman, I think. And, it's a big intersection, 3 or 4 lanes meeting, all.
It's humongous. Yeah.
It's a big roads. It's 4-way big roads. And we across the intersection, crossing 4 or 5 lanes of traffic, we see you want to describe him today?
It looked like a dumpy looking, like a black guy wearing like white pants or a diaper.
Yeah, like white.
Like
clothing.
a white diaper. Or like
he's wearing a white diaper?
Like a white, or white shorts, and then a top, like a tank top, like a blue tank top.
And critically, big, bulky white headphones. Huge white headphones.
Yep. I mean, maybe matching his bulky white headphones to his bulky white diaper. and he's kind of slow shuffling, right?
Yeah.
Across the road.
And at this point in the night, I'm driving, so I'm tonic water only.
Yeah.
I'm as sharp as anybody on the street, and I'm doing all the
I didn't
intersection
drink,
maths.
That night I think Tony had one Heineken or something. So we're sitting there like it's like a UFO sighting. We were seeing the white diaper man, and he's walking.
He's coming across,
and he's slowly walking, and then
coming towards, like in a lane he's gonna attempt to cross is this van or whatever.
Yeah, it was a big,
and it was the only vehicle coming.
There's nobody out on the road.
Yeah,
it's late,
and he's coming at the intersection hard, and the lines meet. If you put the lines together, they meet, and they're a ways back from where they're about to meet. And so, like, headphone guy just keeps cruising like the ghost in Pac-Man or something. There's like
he's steady moving,
not a beat. He doesn't.
I don't think he sees I don't think he's aware.
No. If he's going 1 mile an hour, it's 1 mile an hour straight the whole time, no variation at all. And the truck.
There is a stereotype about ethnicities, certain types of ethnicities.
Here we go. Crossing the street,
crossing the street slowly.
And you feel more comfortable talking about this now, right?
I do, in fact. And I'll just say, I'm not going to say which ethnicity. Everybody can do their own math on that. That they take their time crossing a street.
Well, this, what was so strange is that Ross started with oh my God. Hey, oh my God. Oh my guys, oh my, and then the horde for the van or whatever, like, you hear it, it's just,
you know what it looked like?
He missed the guy by an inch.
By like less than an inch, like where you could see
the diapers flapping.
Yeah, you could see. We're pretty far away, but close enough to see him move from the air of the car that almost obliterated him.
And Tom,
like literally obliterated him.
He didn't even notice.
No,
he kept going
he didn't even break
the
pace,
same.
Right? He didn't break pace at all. He didn't even stop. Like it was like he was a wind-up toy that had been set.
Exactly.
And
you know what?
No variation at all.
It reminded me of those videos that you can see on TikTok where you'll have a person standing in a parking lot and you'll see a car coming, and then they'll go through the person, and it's like 2 different videos stitched together. So that's what it looked like. Or you're right,
a video that's like an obvious fake, where it's like,
right.
hey, oh, look, this guy just barely made it in front of a train. But it happened right in front of us. It was.
Yeah, I think I used to think that like people distracted or headphones. Maybe he was like, I mean, he could have been.
His
just,
eyes
like,
were open.
Yeah, he
Oh
could
my
have just
God.
been listening to a podcast. I mean, honestly, it could have been you just running, listening to a podcast. Like it.
His head skinny. I could feel the wind from
But-
this car.
but it
It's
was-
so close.
But it
light
was
from the
so
car.
close that I think all three of us were like, "Well, that ruined the night." Like it was like, "Well, we're awake now."
Yeah,
You
it
know?
was a real
It-
waker upper.
Yeah, that was not cool.
At like 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Suddenly your heart is just racing.
yeah.
I do like it when you narrowly escape certain death and then just go on
Go.
about
You don't even know.
you just keep on
Do
walking.
you ever think about that as a
to,
high thought?
to Hardee's or whatever you're going. You're just like,
Oh, dude,
like
Hardee's-
goddamn, you
I'll fuck with Harvey.
Like think about you almost.
and Hardee's.
Your family would
Harvey's.
be so sad. All the shit they'd have to do. Like you almost died, and then it's a nothing.
How many times do you think that's happened? You didn't think about it.
At
You didn't even
Pirate Spot
notice.
that time, I gave the guy the Heimlich. It was kind of weird because like I gave that guy the Heimlich, clearly saved his life, and he walked out, and it was like, all right, back to work.
I guess what else do you do?
Yeah.
What else? You clean up the puke and go back to
Go
work.
back
Yeah.
to your life.
Yeah.
So
Should we take a break?
Yeah, well, we can recap real quick last night.
Oh
with
yeah,
Tony
yeah,
Hawk.
yeah. Let's talk about it.
It was a great event. Thank you to the Museum of Art, which is really nice establishment.
Omar
And-
rules, man. Orlando Museum of Art is so fun.
And I forgot when you attend events at really high-end, fancy establishments that everything is top-notch. Like
Oh, yeah.
they have food, the beers. I like
You cut the crust off the sandwiches. You know
like,
what I mean?
Like they're just giving you whatever drinks you want. Or
Another ravenous pig IPA, Mr. Vat.
Wait until they see how you treat you when you're dressed like a cowboy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's next level.
And then obviously
More steak.
they had 75 spots to actually meet Tony Hawk and then to get a picture with him and then like have him sign something. And I gave my spot to Tony Munjet because I'm the best friend.
I appreciate it.
That's
And,
very kind.
and I just so everybody knows
You're the good one.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't give that up for anything. I wouldn't give it to my daughter.
So you went to the museum with these guys? How many confrontations did you guys have?
I gave my
We
ticket
actually had a
up
couple.
Really? Okay.
to Tony, which then I found he's like, I already met Grant Brittain. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, Grant Brittain, yeah, but
Yeah,
not,
Tony's
not
like,
Tony
Tony,
Hawk.
Yeah,
I've
but
got
if-
pictures of Grant Brittain. Here we are hanging out. I'm like, well, hold on a second.
Yeah, if I knew
He
you already
hoodwinked you, dude.
at
He
least
hoodwinked you for
met
that ticket.
half of the duo, then I would have thought twice maybe because I
Yeah.
wanted to.
You wanted to meet Brittain and Hawk.
Meet Tony Hawk and get a picture. And honestly, I thought that they would just be like, Tom, come on in and just get a
I
picture.
thought they would too.
I was
banking
kind of
on
waiting
that.
around like
I
they
was
were-
banking on that too. They were like, get in here. And Tony was going to be like, where were you, buddy?
But you were right to get the upgraded tickets because confirmed now media not present, right? Yeah, that's not a media
Did you
thing.
see the
I
box
thought-
for media, the square you were supposed to stand in?
Hilarious.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, because
It was right next to the blue one where they let people beg for change.
So I thought there was a chance that I was going to be able to gift Tony the tickets and still meet Tony Hawk. And then the 2-for-1 scenario, I get the credit from all the listeners. Be
I
like,
thought
Tom's a
about
good
letting
guy.
you have my ticket.
No, I'll never let
I
that
thought
happen.
about letting you have my
No,
ticket.
because that raises you above me. I need to be the most generous, the most charity.
You're playing God. You're playing God on this one.
Yeah. I need to be looked at as like, Tom, that guy's a good guy.
The move you're
He'll do
shooting,
anything to take his
You
shirt
are
off his
the
back.
Alec Baldwin of our show.
the move you're shooting for is called "Have Your Cake and Eat It Too."
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Then, so I was waiting for them to be like, all right.
Here's your cake, Tom.
They're like, get Tom in there. He waited. He gave it.
Tom, Tony's asking for you.
That did not happen.
Well, which Tony?
So also, while Daniel and Tony was meeting Tony Hawk and Grant Brittain and did their picture.
You were having a existential crisis about the actual talk.
Yeah. Well,
Do you want to talk about that?
oh no,
Yeah,
oh,
I
remember
forgot
that?
about that. Yeah.
Do you remember this guy was having a full-blown
Yeah.
freak out about the talk?
Before we get to that, Sylvia, we've interviewed her twice
She's
for a weird
awesome.
job. Sylvia Longmire, she does like a wheelchair blog. She travels around.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of work with the Museum of Art and
She does tours there too. She does a lot of the tours around there.
So we saw her there last night, and I was talking to her when you guys left, and I did the move where I talked so much and started telling so many stories that she's like wheeling herself back.
Yeah.
So it's just
Wait,
like,
what-
I have to go and talk to other people.
Because
So anyway, the rocket was made out of cardboard. And
Are you
I think
familiar with Gravedigger?
She literally, she showed us. She had the very last spot to go meet Tony Hawk,
Yeah.
which would have taken, another 30 minutes. And she said, like, well, I'm going to go get in line.
So, why do I do that? I can't. It's hard for me to take any signals from anybody. It's almost like I'm so concerned about everything that I'm doing that I don't know.
It's almost like that, yeah.
But anyway, so there's a point where Sylvia's like, let's get a picture with me and Daniel. So I want to ask you guys the etiquette of
We
this.
both did this.
So I don't know much about etiquette of anything.
Yeah.
I've never taught etiquette growing
Yeah.
up or whatever. And I just do what feels natural. And
If it feels good, do it. I'm Tom Van.
And one thing that never felt natural, and I still have a hard time doing, is putting my napkin in my lap.
Okay.
Why just leave it on the table?
I have a hard time.
Nothing falls on my lap while I'm eating. It rarely happens.
I have a hard time wiping my rear end. I don't like the feeling of the hand in the crack. I don't like it.
I like right in the neck with my napkin. I'll go right in the neck.
Like a mop off.
What do I care?
Like an old Italian grandma.
No, I can't do that. That's old 1920s.
I say you don't get a meatball in your white beater.
Exactly.
I did that yesterday for the first time, and I
Thank
have
you,
to
Tony.
say, it is a better way.
It's the better life.
No, that's just an
Tony
old man.
and Ross are going on more and more adventures.
I was
anger
eating ramen.
adventures.
Dude. Ramen is messy now.
So my
It is.
question
Ramen
is,
is messy.
when you take a picture with someone in a wheelchair, do you
Never
bend-
yell ew.
No, do you
Where do you put your
bend?
napkin?
Do you because I do this. I bend down
I do too.
to their level,
I do
like
too.
bend down,
I
a
do
thumbs
too.
up down here.
Yeah.
But it seems while I'm doing it, I'm like,
I did it too. I leaned down, but then you know what? I realized I was doing that, and then so when we went to take the second photo, I stood up straight like a soldier, like America.
But I'm like, do you stand straight and stand next to the person, or do you bend down and then
The
to
chat
their
room
level?
is saying yes. CD Sarah says yes. I prefer and I believe Sarah's in a wheelchair. Sarah's saying she prefers you bend down. So that would be, I mean, that's
Okay.
one of the more
professional-
factual answers we would get is from someone disabled.
We
So
got
thank
a
you.
guy who presumably is taking a photography class or two and has come up with
Oh, no
twice, maybe.
classes, no.
You learn in the streets.
Yeah, but he
winging it every
Yeah.
time.
but he refuses.
I mean, I don't honestly. I don't know because I obviously never been in a wheelchair, but I would say
she doesn't want a dickhead level picture. That makes sense, Sarah.
So that literally, I was going
That
there.
totally makes sense.
You'll have crotch at eye level
See,
sometimes.
the problem is no matter where Tom is in the picture, he's going to be a dickhead. So.
Hey!
Hey, but it does seem kind of like I'm coming down here with you.
Hey,
You know,
let me
like-
get down on your level, little buddy.
Because I do that, I do it with kids. So then I feel
Right.
like if I was in a wheelchair, I'd be like, stand up next. I don't need you to
Well,
bow over.
maybe the correct play is to make the person in the wheelchair stand up.
Here,
Here, let me get you up there. All right, Dad, you get it. All right, brace her back.
I'll hold you.
Yeah.
I'll pick up their leg. I'll hold you like
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan.
Hold you like Baywatch.
The only kind of example I can summer to mind is like anytime you see Professor X, Cyclops is standing behind him.
Oh,
He's
come
standing, but he's behind him.
Oh, so do I stand behind like a
Oh yeah,
pushing
no.
I don't know.
You know
Oh,
that
no.
that's it is a good question because we both did it. I noticed it, and I didn't have to do much. So when I stood up just like straight, like I was like her same height.
Yeah.
You know, like she was. You're like I'm the average height of a person in a wheelchair.
So the meet and greet ended. I never got to meet Tony Hawk, which I told Crystal and my sons, I'm like, I'm meeting Tony Hawk today.
You'll see. You'll all see. You'll all see. I'll meet Tony Hawk. Then you loaded your sniper rifle.
And then I did get home. My son's still awake. They're like, "What was Tony like?" I'm like, "Didn't meet him."
Wow.
Like, I gave my ticket to the other Tony.
They actually did care, though.
Oh yeah, they did.
Oh,
Because
wow.
they play the video games.
Because of video games. He's still around.
It moves the needle. It's the
For sure.
only person that I'm going to say this, and this is going to be mean to everybody that's been connected with the show. The only person that's ever mattered that we've ever interviewed on this show or ever mentioned being related to is Tony Hawk. Because Maisie knew. Like, she was like, you met Tony, and I showed her the picture. She was like, whoa! She's like, Mom, get in here. She's like, look, that's Dad with Tony Hawk and some guy that looks like Dad.
Now we could easily bought the 3 tickets.
You should've. I told you
the
to.
chance to buy
I
them
told
before
you to,
anybody else.
Andrea. I told you to, Andrea.
I was like,
you cheap ass.
I was like, no,
I told you to.
We'll get 2. I'll give mine to Tony, so I look like a
yeah,
hero.
and then you said, I don't care. You're like, I don't care as much. You're a baby.
I'll eat my cake and then I'll still have it.
Yeah, no,
Do you
no,
understand
it's
how it doesn't work like that?
I'm
Tom?
like, they'll get
I'll
me
let
back.
you have have your ticket because I know if I take yours away, you'll cry like a baby.
I don't think you look like a hero. I think we're now even. Because I gave your son the best AJR experience of his life.
Oh, phrasing careful.
that-
I don't know what that
what is
means.
that?
Yeah, I don't know. I gave your son the greatest hand job he's ever had.
And then I was like, oh, they'll get me in. They'll be like, oh, there's some,
No, we're not just going past what is an AJR experience.
No, it's a band. It's
Oh,
a
is
band.
it? Okay.
Yeah,
It's a
band,
guy. He's a
Gotcha.
So then
I know
It's
people.
an old man with a van.
So then we went to the auditorium to watch him and Grant Brittain during their talk. They basically
Well, Tony, before that, I will report.
Oh, right.
Grant knew exactly who we were, remembered us.
Yes.
And then Tony got to talk, and you were joking around with Tony Hawk and Grant Brittain, and we were making them laugh.
I probably have the best photo I can ever have of myself. I got it last night. We take the photo, just like all three of us standing,
Yeah.
And I think we're done. I hate taking people's time, especially people that I admire, right?
Yeah.
So as I'm about to walk away, Grant goes like, "Wait, hold on," because him and I are holding cameras. So he pretends like he's taking a photo of Tony. Then I pretend I'm taking a photo of Tony, and Tony pretends that he's like being accosted by like paparazzi or whatever.
He's like,
So I have a photo of Grant freaking Brittain and myself taking photos of Tony, and he's pretending that we're paparazzi.
You missed a really cool
you
moment.
got to play a baby game with
Yes.
Tony Hawk.
You got to play baby games. They were like kind of flirting.
It
You
was
were
great.
flirting a little bit with Tony Hawk.
Yeah, of course.
And you couldn't have called me back. Just been like, hey, let me get my
Yeah,
friend
let me
Tom.
have
Just,
my- yeah.
You just want to come shake your
Yeah,
hand.
he's
He's gonna-
what would you have done? What would you have said? You want to role play? What would you have said to Tony? Pretend I'm Tony.
No, I would have asked him about Tony Hawk, the pro skater.
Don't have
video
enough time.
game,
Not enough
how-
time.
Oh no.
No, when you walk up there, like for me, like he was like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you," and then I had to go fast, so I'm like, "Hey, Grant, it's Dan from Tom and Dan." He's like, "Oh, how'd the interview do?" I go, "It was great, man. Thank you so much for doing it. We really appreciate
I would
it."
have told Tony I'm friends with Grant Brittain. I'm like, we're friends. We know her. So that would have got me in.
But then I told Tony, I go, "Hey, love your podcast." That's about all I got to say. That was it.
So anyway, during
So
the
Tom, just to be clear, if you had gotten to meet Tony Hawk, you would have said something him like literally 10 billion people have said to him in the last month.
Hey
man, I like that video game you did.
I like your video game, Timmy.
they love that.
any codes or tricks to your video game?
Every time someone tells me, "Oh yeah, that happened at the goddamn
It did happen.
Publix the other day,"
And then we walk
I
into
give a
Publix.
thumbs up.
We walk in public. Some,
like, still
some
got-
Latin guy with like a yard hat walks by and he goes, "Oh yeah!" Like that. And
Like a thumbs up.
And then I look at Tom and I go, "I'm so happy it'll never die. I'm so happy."
So during the talk, and then like Tony Hawk's telling stories, Grant Brittain there.
They call it a hawk talk.
And by
is
the
what
way,
they call it a hawk talk.
Daniel knew the moderator who is
Chuck, yeah.
and how. Every time Daniel knows
Professional
all these
Florida,
cool people
yeah.
that I don't know.
I'm cool.
And
I'm cool. I'm
you're
cool.
not
I'm
cool.
little cool daddy.
I'm just as cool
Well,
as you.
you know what they call Hollywood Daddy? They call it.
Hey, it's Hollywood Danny.
How do you know so many people?
To be fair, the only person out of the three of us who didn't know Chuck was you.
That's true. We're cool.
I've known Chuck for years too.
Yeah.
I knew the person, the catering guy.
I do catering, Carl.
He gave me a small, oh yeah. And a croquette.
I got a free croquette.
So anyway, then so the moderator's up there, they're having a discussion, and then all of a sudden I hear a baby crying, and then then I'm like, who? So first of all, I'll say this, because sometimes you're in a situation where you get these tickets, like even the discussion tickets were $100. So it's like it's not a cheap ticket, but like sometimes
No, that baby got to get your diaper changed by Tony Hawk package.
so maybe it was a scenario where this person couldn't find a babysitter and then had to bring their baby, right? And that I excuse, because I don't want you to miss this special event because you can't find a babysitter, and whatever. Nothing bothers me, and it's fine. They left with the baby or whatever. But if you voluntarily brought your baby to a discussion of 50-year-old men, like what are you thinking?
Well, like,
if that's the case.
well, where do you stand on that? Like, so you are okay with that?
Do you
Because
think?
if you had
I'm a
to.
little bit more on the end of. It was a charity event. It was to raise money for the museum, and people were paying a premium price. No babies make it in.
This is a real
No babies
exclusive
come in.
ticket.
Yeah.
It was very limited numbers.
That shouldn't have happened.
Did that baby have a ticket is my question. Because, like, I know
Probably not.
Halloween Horror
Nah.
Nights,
You
you
don't
can
charge
bring a
babies.
baby if you want to, but that's a per capita. That's a head going into the park, and your baby pays like $65 or whatever the ticket is.
$65 for a baby?
It's the same as ticket.
scare pass.
It's the same as the ticket price as whatever night it is. If you bring a literally like an 11-month-old baby in, they're like, we don't recommend it, but okay, you're paying ticket price for that baby.
I don't know, and maybe the Museum of Art is cool, and then like,
They
and
were
again,
cool.
if the
They were
person,
playing Faith No More at the top of their like it was like a cool event.
yeah.
Was
They
it
were-
as good of a playlist as the pre-Babymetal? That guy was really on point.
It was actually quite good. Yeah, the DJ they had at the Museum of Art, which I think it was the first time they've ever done anything like that. It was great. It was really, really good.
But what's in the mindset of a person now? Again, if this is an emergency scenario and there's no other option,
Yeah, but why is the emergency that you come to the event? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not an emergency. You stay home.
But
I
if
saw
you
what
have
that
bought the
ticket
tickets-
cost. If you can afford that ticket, you can afford a babysitter. And if you can afford to go out,
I agree
leave
with
your
Ross on
baby
that,
alone
yeah.
with another person.
It's just kind of inconsiderate to everybody else.
Yes,
let's-
that is selfish.
So let's just say that they did this on purpose and they brought their baby to Tony Hawk.
ruin everyone's night with my baby.
No, but what's
Starscream?
It's Tony Hawk and Grant Brittain with a moderator talking about old school skateboarding. What about that did you think your baby was going to like?
It's not for the baby.
not for the baby.
They wanted to go,
Yeah, it's selfish.
and then they're being selfish.
And then they're just like, my baby.
Well, I don't know. What if
Yeah.
you try to move the baby and the baby looks you in the eye and says, "Well, we have 4 tickets."
Well, you got to do it.
What do you do?
The baby's like, I paid for this ticket and I'll scream here.
You know when you're going down the street and you got a wide open street and somebody comes up with a stop sign leading into your street and they just blow through the stop sign and you have to stop a little bit to let them go even though you had the right of way. That's that person in a nutshell. Like, it's all about me. I want to go. I don't care if everybody's impacted by my baby. I'm going to the thing.
Well, that guy was wearing a diaper. Maybe he was a baby.
But they handled it right.
Hey, the lady left.
But you
and,
know what I was thinking though, and it made me laugh because the people handled it so well. I mean, like, we've all been through it, except for Tony. You know, we all know what it's like to have a baby in a place that the baby's doing something and
Yeah.
it's starting to make noise, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, and you can feel it. And for an anxiety guy like me, I can feel it bubbling up. And I'm holding Maisie, and she's about to cry. This was a weird one because even though the lady got the baby out of the auditorium very quickly, the fact that she was in a fucking museum, you could hear that baby no matter. The baby
God.
was in the greatest place for a baby to cry because it was a
Yeah.
fucking museum. So I could hear that they had walked all the way to the front, which is so far away.
Perfect
So far
acoustics.
away. And the baby's like, it was like you could hear it just like, because it would echo through the whole halls of the museum.
It's got perfect acoustics.
The acoustics are phenomenal. So it was weird.
How do you feel about? So when I flew to California a few weeks ago, it's a 5-hour flight. I literally was cornered by 3 babies, like little ones, and they cried.
Give us your money.
They all cried, like they're harmonizing, crying the entire time.
That's impressive.
Well, with
Should have
airline,
signed them like
with-
Boys to Men.
There's no Babymetal too. That.
if you have to travel, then you have no choice.
Yeah.
You know, when you're going to an event,
You gotta
where
suck it up.
Where you're hearing 50-year-old men just have a discussion on stage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in my mind. It's like, okay, you have to fly to California. There's no other choice.
The baby has to go with you. You travel. Yes. Yeah.
So I feel bad for that scenario on the plane.
Yeah, I've
because
had
there's
one.
no other choice.
I've only had one of those where the baby screamed the
Anyway.
entire flight, but you know.
The Orlando Museum of Art was pretty awesome. I will
it
be
was
going
incredible.
back because it's a nice establishment in Orlando
Yes.
that this is the first time I've experienced it, and I have to say they do a good job.
Yeah, that punk rock exhibit too. Tony knows
Yeah.
about that
I
one.
became
pretty
a
amazing.
member when I went to see Grant Brittain. I became a member of the museum, and I've been there a couple times. It's pretty like to think that we have that here in town, and they're trying to get like the young, not even young, because I was gonna say the younger people that are into punk, but like they're showing you the stuff from like the 80s and the 70s and 60s, which is also bringing us the 40 to 50-year-old
Sure.
guys.
It's real
And then you see,
we're not young anymore. We're middle-aged old men.
and then you see what they have planned for the future, and it was a no-brainer for me to get a membership because like you go there twice and you pay for it already. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
All right, let's take a break.
Yes, sir. The name of the artist, Mad Caddies. The name of the song is Palm Trees and Pines. We'll be right back with more A Mediocre Time right after this.
Palm trees and good times, bright days and sunshine, up in the tall pines.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Squirt. Squirt who? Squirt is P. You dumb rednecks.
Right about now, you are listening to the incredible
A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, who kindly remind you that squirt is P.
What do you want from me? I am not a charity. Work hard at everything. Do it all for free. What do you want from me? I am not a guarantee. Go all or nothing. Lose your money. I'm not so sure. I'm not really that sure anymore. I wanna take it really slow, but the world says no. It's all rushing past. The hands of time stab me in the back. What do you want from me? How am I supposed to be? I'm not so sure. I'm not really that sure anymore. I'm not so sure no more. I got my own cars, the things that they brought, my heart, my head, all the secrets that I kept. My will, my intent, is there even any left? What do you want from me? How am I supposed to be? What do you want from me? How am I supposed to be? Set up to win, wind up disappointing everyone in the end. I am disappointing mostly myself in the end.
I can hear the 90s in all of these bands, and I'm here for it. I like it. That is Sweet Pill with Star Child. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom. Ross McCoy is here. Tony Moonjet's here.
Oh, here, guys. There you go. Got to give you that.
So, I found out the other day that my brother-in-law Jetson that we talked about.
Love that guy.
And Daniel's gonna read off a list of people.
Oh yeah, the
that characters from the show that someone made on Reddit. That's insanely long, and the amount of effort someone took to do this is crazy.
And it's still getting larger by the minute. So
anyway, he did another 100-mile race, right? Of the ultra marathon.
Damn.
And I don't know why I'm so fascinated with this, because
It's because your kids like him better than you.
you like grit. You're obsessed with grit, and it takes massive amounts of grit to pull this off, right?
Yeah, of course. But then I tell other people, like in conversation, like, oh, Jetson, like people that know Jetson, they're like, oh, he's doing another 100-miler. And they're like, God, their response is usually, God, why would you do that? And then I'm always surprised by that.
When some people like to, like spit in their wife's asshole. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, well, I
But
guess
they're like, that's the only way I love it, dude.
they're like, why would you
Problem
do it?
is, end of a 100-mile race, your mouth is real dry. You can't spit right away.
That's true.
Or your butthole is so dirty. that you
Put a
don't
gel
wanna spit
pack
on
in
it.
there. But no, I'm just saying, I think that they can't wrap their brain around it, right?
Yeah, and of course,
Yeah,
because
it's not for them. So none of their Miami friends have done it. So why would anybody?
but then I'm always like, well, why? I guess then it got me thinking because I started like deep diving this.
But you
one
like
night.
this. I mean, you're doing it now, and I think that's cool. You found a hobby finally.
No, but on such a small scale, the amount of the physical effort and the mental part of just traveling 100 miles nonstop is insane.
But there are
to
a lot
me.
of people that do it. Like Fascinio in our chat room said, I recently signed up for my first marathon in January. Congratulations.
Well, this is
Double
5.
it, and then you're
No,
right there
I
with
understand,
Jetson.
four
but
times
it's
that.
in the same category.
Yeah.
Not as good, though. Not as good.
Yeah,
You're definitely ranking them, and you're
just kidding.
below Jetson.
When you start, when you start getting 100 miles. So then I started thinking, and tell me if you agree with this. So I was like, well, hold on. So if I ask Crystal, and I put her on a lie detector, can you travel 100 miles without stopping? Because a lot of times
Any
it's not
speed.
running. Yeah, any speed, because that's all it really. A lot of times he is walking sometimes, and so it's just the amount of nonstop. You cannot stop. It takes over 24 hours.
Is there like a trail car though that'll pick you up if you're like too slow?
No, I'm not sure because the amount of people who do this, it's kind of like this is not the Boston
I
Marathon. There's
didn't-
only like 30 people that can even, or 60
Which
in the world.
means there's like 130 on the trail working the event. So like at some point they got to shut all that down. Usually they have a trail car that'll like if you're going and they have a pace, like if you're below a certain pace, car will come and pick you up.
These trail ultra marathons, they don't have the money of these giant, like the giant races.
Die on the trail, you die on the trail.
Yeah,
So this
there's
is
something
more.
weird.
So this
Like, it's
isn't
small.
just about the 100 miles. Like some of this
Yeah.
is just like training yourself to be deprived of sleep,
Yeah.
or right. I mean, like
It's more, yeah. I mean,
it's not just distance, obviously.
And it's not 100 miles around the track. You're saying there's like
it's trails.
I was
so
gonna
like
say, like,
elevation
where-
change, nasty terrain.
Yeah, you're running through
boggy
trails.
spots.
Yeah.
the whole
Where
bit.
is this trail?
Somewhere in Colorado, I believe.
Okay.
Utah. They always do it in the most hot. They're like, if
Yeah.
you do it in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, you don't see this at like a resort.
The middle of Rocky Mountainous Desert. That's where we want to do this.
So I started thinking, if I told Crystal, can you do this? You'd be like, absolutely not. And the lie detector would state that she is truly believes that. And then if I said, could you do this to save your children?
Yeah.
And then
I
she'd
play
be
this
like-
game a lot too.
And then she would say, absolutely.
Wait a minute, you guys play the same game?
No,
So
I
would you
play-
do this to save your children game? Is this a game we're supposed to be playing with our wives? Teach me the
For
game.
instance, I will get in the shower and be like, can I remember every single word without flaw to Jingle Bells, or somebody will kill your kid.
Oh, I love this. I would have played this game. I would have played Jingle Bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, no. Which one? Oh, it's only one. It's Maisie. Maisie's dead. That's how you play it? That's a great game. I like this game.
Yeah, ultimate stakes scenarios.
And I'm supposed
basically,
to do this in the shower.
That's when I do it the
Okay.
most, yeah.
So then
I'm in. Write that down.
she would say, absolutely, I could. And she would be telling the truth.
Right.
And then so I was like, well, what changed? One, you said, no, there's no way you were telling the truth. And then you said, absolutely, it's
well,
just
wait
a
a minute.
motivation.
The reasoning of why you're doing it, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if you're just doing it just to because you like fitness or whatever, or you're forced
As
to
a
do it,
challenge,
Yeah,
yeah.
Now you have a purpose
Yeah,
to save your family.
but you could fail both times.
Yes,
It's true. It's not a guarantee of
It's
success.
just a statement.
Yes.
Yeah. It is a mentality
Right.
of like one you believed you 100% couldn't do it, and one you said 100% you can.
Oh my God,
So
this
it's just
guy's becoming to the top, never stop. Oh my
No,
God,
no.
yeah.
No. Well, it's funny. because
Are you becoming a bit more of an optimist now?
No.
But that's what that sounded like. It sounded like you were making the case for mind frame.
No,
because
he's
I'm
fine.
about to tear everything down.
Well, let me say my dumb bit before you counter it.
Okay.
I think you finally come around to what I've always said, which is that scientists have proven that fizzy vitamin drink works if you believe it works. And so
Airborne,
even
yeah.
knowing that, I just choose to believe it works. When I feel a little sniffle coming on, I'll take one and I'll be like, this is going to work for me. Mental outlook and attitude can affect outcomes and the real world.
Oh my God, was that Ram Davesy? That was that's how Andrea is. Andrea is 100%. She's like, I'll be like, I'm getting sick, and she'll be like, don't say that. I never say that. I might feel the same way you're feeling right now, but I am as healthy as a horse.
Now,
what the hell are you talking about?
Now, by the way, he did tell me that the bottom of his feet fell off.
How much? How thick?
With like the layer of the bottom of the pads of his feet, they just slipped off. He felt them slip off on the trail.
While he was running.
Yeah. And then I was like, how long did you have left? Like, you finished? He's like, yeah, I only had 13 miles left. No big deal. And then I was like, wait a minute. Did you pick that exact number of miles I'm about to race just to bully me? I spent the entire year training for 13 miles. And he's like, oh, you got 13 left.
I wrapped that out without the bottom of my feet. No problem. There's no worries.
Only a pussy baby 13. no big deal. So then, anyway, I started thinking about like this whole how to fucking run 100 miles, and then I was like the physical like toll that it takes and the mental toll. But then
I don't know if I could string together that many podcasts. Like I would have a hard time downloading and then arranging, and then like while I'm running, like switching when they go into that dumb credits thing at the end that nobody listens to.
I haven't downloaded enough episodes of Dudes on Dudes yet, and it's good.
I guess I would just I would re-download every episode of The Crab Feast and just have them go in order.
That's a great show.
Yeah.
I think the battery in your phone would just die.
There you go. That's another.
Also, that you bring up a good running while listening to podcasts is the only time I listen to the podcast commercials because I don't want to take the fucking phone out of the pouch. Of
What's your favorite one? What do you like? What's your favorite commercial?
And then I'm like, God damn.
You got to get headphones so you can like double tap and
What's your
you
favorite
can do
one?
that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah,
What's your favorite one right now? Commercial. Come on.
What, the commercial?
I'm a better health guy. What do you like? Tony Rage, excuse me, Moonjet, what do you like?
I like the stamps.com.
I like stamps. Ross?
Across any media?
Yeah.
My new favorite is the phone call that comes in. It goes, hello. And yes, and I don't know what it says after that because I know it's starting to say, and yes, I'm a robot, and I just always hung up.
All right, that's a good one.
I listened to one sports podcast where a commercial ran for the Trump watches.
Oh, the $100,000 ones.
Oh, they know their audience.
I was like, oh, he's got watches.
I found out those were not Swiss
You can
made.
sell whatever you want.
They're not Swiss made.
I'm like, I'm doing whatever I want now.
They're
Anything.
100K for those.
So
all-time Tubi back in February was running Black History Month ads, and then their big example of Black History you could watch on Tubi was Tyler Perry movies.
So I started to tell myself, like, what an amazing amount of mental fortitude Jetson has to get through this. Like, he's tough as fuck.
Can you be too dumb to stop?
And so, but then I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I've been running for a while now, and what happens is, like, after... Like, the hardest part is the first mile or 2 miles. Like, you're in your head about it. You're like, this sucks. This is horrible. And then after, Ross knows this.
I've heard that called the shit shift.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you're supposed to sit in it, and once you sit in it, then you kind of like meditate into it.
And then you're like, I can't imagine. Like, I'm gonna run 10 miles tomorrow, and then the first 2 is like
your brain tries to talk you out of doing it
Yeah,
for a little bit.
That happens to me on the Peloton.
Yes, yeah. So then
anything strenuous over time,
And
your brain will be like, stop doing this.
Yes,
Stupid. You can walk.
But then your brain just switches out because it's lazy and just like, fuck it. You're just going to this weird, like, you're driving, like, you're driving and then you forget like, all of a sudden you reach your destination.
Highway hypnosis.
Yeah, highway. There's running hypnosis. Like,
sure.
Every time I do these long runs, like, all of a sudden I snap out of it. I'm like,
I shit my pants. Oh God! I hypnotize myself and shit my pants.
I think that's when your brain realizes, he's doing this.
I got
whatever.
the hypno shit.
Just kick out the drugs. Make him. This is
Yes.
now. Kick out the good, feel good drugs.
Yes.
And let him keep running.
And then you just get into this repetitive motion, and then all of a sudden, like, you just get up into your own head. I start thinking about shit, other things, like, and then and all of a sudden I forgot the last 5 miles I ran, just because your brain escapes.
I'm not kidding. It is called the shit shift. There's a trainer that I follow, and it's a thing where Yeah,
It applies in sports even. Like you get to a point in sports where like you're done pushing, but you have to keep pushing, and I think that's where the shit shift comes from.
And, and then it reminded me of this ultra marathon running lady, this like one of the best in the world, and she literally like can start hallucinating faster than other ultra marathoners because eventually after a certain amount of miles
she can get into the state easier.
Yes, like
shit.
And then I was like, well, that's an advantage.
That's
like,
cool.
and then I was like, well,
now she's like a monk.
all of a
Now
sudden,
you're using some Eastern, kata teachings and shit.
and then this all led me to running 100 miles. Not that hard.
They were
Because
waiting
as
for
long,
it. They do it. They do.
as long as you just keep feeding yourself, your brain just takes off.
That's the part I don't understand, though, is that does he have to carry or do people have to bring him little gel
peanut butter
packs
jelly
and,
sandwiches. No, he eats just
like, or little-
Uncrustables. So he eats like 38
Yeah,
Uncrustables.
there's an article about that. And there was an article about this, I think this week in sports, they were talking about the number one thing that most, even football players, high, like, level football players in college and then college athletes eat is Uncrustables. And I'm like, what? And it was like a whole thing about, like, yeah, it's just
easy to eat, and then you got your protein from did you get protein from
Peanut butter? Yeah,
Very
peanut
little.
butter,
And I
and then it's
imagine that peanut butter in there is probably like quote unquote peanut butter. It can't have much protein.
I don't know.
But you don't
He
want
needs
that.
mostly carbs. It's
Yeah,
all carbs,
it's
and that's
all
what he
carbs.
needs
Yeah,
when he's
yeah,
running.
You just need calories, I guess.
Yeah,
I'd
carbs
switch
and
over to
calories.
toaster pastries, but I'm in.
Yeah. So
Do you know
Those
I've
Frosted
never had a fucking Uncrustable?
What?
Ever.
Really?
Never had one.
I haven't either, and I
The
never bought
idea
for my
of-
You have a
kids.
kid.
No,
No, I know, but the idea of it,
Yeah.
like what Ross said about the peanut butter, I love peanut butter so much.
Plus, if you
Are they
can't-
great? I'll try one.
If
I'll
you
try
can't
one.
be bothered to get out 2 slices of Wonder Bread
I
and a
love Wonder
butter
Bread.
knife for some peanut butter, and I know Crystal's gonna make you wash off that butter knife and use the same one for
Yeah.
the jelly. If you can't be bothered to do that, you don't
Yeah,
deserve a
I've
peanut
never
butter
had an
sandwich.
Uncrustable, dude. I'm so weird.
I mean, I feel the same way about the popcorn from Hard Rock. It wasn't the same popcorn you can make at home, right?
Hey guys, me and Tony are gonna step outside for a minute. I'm not gonna have
They're
anybody
fighting.
talk shit about the Hard Rock popcorn. It was
No,
10 out
what
of
I'm
10.
saying is the popcorn over there was amazing.
Yes.
And then you can't replicate it at home.
No, that popcorn we could not because I don't think we have the oil or that was some good ass popcorn.
I make a lot of popcorn. I'm just saying, I make a lot of popcorn. I could do it, but I understand what you're saying. You're average human being. But
I like it.
Hey, it's just popcorn.
There's a lot of confidence in this room today. I like it. Do you want to go through this real quick because we are going to have to take another break? Do you want to go through this list of humans that they put on Reddit?
this is from Reddit.
Yeah, these are the cast of these are characters from this show.
Interesting.
And just some random person did this?
It's a collection of people. They're so good over there. Good folks over there.
I do
and
like the subreddit. It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean they're just like they can critique without being like hyper nasty, and they more than even that, I think they apply a lot of like historical knowledge because I forget a lot of shit, and I've been doing this a very long time, so it's kind of cool to read this.
There's a lot of like, who was that guest that smashed watermelons in the shower, and then somebody was like Supergirl
Yeah,
Jen or whatever.
they'll
There's a lot of
answer
like,
it.
remember?
So
Yeah.
I put this in. Oh, go ahead.
Can I get in there and advertise our sponsor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Add that to the
get
package.
in there. You're gonna
All
jump in
right.
there. All right, go here, you pieces of shit.
Okay.
This is in alphabetical order. I copied it and then I just had ChatGPT put it in order. So we've got Akeem Woods, aka Gay Black Orphan, local comedian who moved to California.
All right.
As Buck, played by nationally touring comedian Tone X, introduced to TND through their friendship with Monique.
So right off the bat, real people and not real people.
Yeah.
So some of these are just
it's
random
all over the
characters.
place.
Because it's crazy Akeem Woods is made up. but
Bass player for Casey and the Sunshine Band, friend of Tom's stepdad Steve, served Tom alcohol at wedding when he was young.
yeah. Okay, people and references now.
Yeah, Ben Bungie owns a bungee plant in Georgia.
Personal
Known for his
favorite.
crazy laugh, won't advertise with the show.
Love that.
Big Tim, tall, overweight, redhead comedian who wears overalls and speaks with a small-town Florida accent, calls everybody baby, likely moved recently.
In California, living in a van with his dog, loves it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
he
literally
says
living in a van down by the river.
he says that, and then he says it's the greatest move. He said he had to get out of Florida and live homeless in his van.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he's happier than he's ever been. I'm
Yes,
not kidding.
Correct. 100%.
Bob Lando introduced Supergirl Jen to the show.
Yeah.
Brendan O'Connor, you know who he is. Carol Dennis, you know who she is. Caesar, Dan's original West Highland Terrier, passed away a couple years ago. Chef Pat, Chris Rock, a British character, also referred to as Pato Chris from early meetups. Did you remember his name was
Also-
Chris Rock?
Do you remember that he pretended to be British for a long time?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. No, he was British.
there was-
Yeah, he was British. His mom was British.
There was some weird stopping point in our just culture of America that all of a sudden people were like, no more pedophile Chris. Because remember, everybody was laughing at it.
It was funny, and then we got out and he was like pretending to be British. He's like, it was scared. She said she was 17. It was like one of those kind of
But
things.
everybody was laughing at it.
And then one day we come into the office and we're like, you want to do the show?
It was a hard stop.
Yeah, people are like, dear Tom and Dan, if you even fucking mention this pedophile character or even make light of it, your days are numbered. Goodbye. That's what it felt like, right?
I remember that day for me personally.
Yeah.
It was that beach event, and I was like cleaning up the banners we had hanging up, and he was following me around screaming at the top of his lungs, "Give me a weed candy, Roz. I know you got it. Give me a weed candy."
That would drive me crazy. I'm sorry.
That was
All
it.
right.
Line in,
You know what? That's
literal line in the
deserved.
sand.
That's deserved. That's deserved. The line in the sand for me was when he was yelling at you, and then we kicked him out of the Johnnies, and then he cried.
Oh,
and then I was like, well, this has got to end. It ends
No,
today.
she was still a character.
But he
then-
faded away.
But people were like, no
It's
more
our fault.
mentioning.
I blame us. We made the cartoon. We're like, make a cartoon. They love it. We make the cartoon. They hate it. Pull the cartoon.
They're making light of.
Yeah.
And in the case of that one Johnny's event, maybe don't give the cartoon unlimited shots of whiskey.
Chris Streama did a segment on ACT about what to stream. Was a fun addition as an out-of-state medium at the time. Concrete Mike, Craig from Pyro Spot, Crystal's mom lives near Tom, has 3 birds, and is very kind-hearted.
4 birds.
I was about to
Someone
say,
yeah.
We'll
She got
make-
some new,
we'll make a
got a new one
correction.
with no feathers.
We have Dan.
So on
Family.
average, 3 birds.
David Jolly, friend of D-Rug, was a local comedian now based in Austin. Dirty Jim, original member of Monsters, often jokes about with Daniel, but is a central figure in station history. Drew Garabo, EJ, former college football player for Miami, longtime show presence, beat Tom in a swim race in 2024, has pre-diabetes.
Awesome.
That's what it says. I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna get mad, but you saved it at the end.
No, I didn't write this. Again, I did not write this. Fernando, Miami friend of Tom's, received his nickname during a Miami Friends cast. ChatGPT will not say rapist. Indian girl with frog pajamas, a muse for Tony Hawk Pro Skater bit. Jana Banana, friend of the show, formerly
That's what I was gonna tell Tony about.
Jana Banana Jetson, half brother of Crystal, based in Colorado, a triathlete and inspiration for Tom and Crystal. John Bustegger, chief marketing officer at a law firm, longtime guest and voice of Orlando, wrote a book on things to do.
He was doing sound check for Babymetal.
Kenny the Pervert. We've got Lee on here. Lena the Dog. Logic Band Andy. Mama Van. Mike B. Mike Busey. Pudge. Raj. Former vocal show supporter. Owned hotel. Raj.
Oh, they messed up Roop.
Raj.
Yeah.
You guys are racist. It's not Raj.
They're like Roop, Raj, Raji, Romo.
Something. Turbid Joe. I don't know.
Worst mistake I ever made. Roop wanted to hire me, and I said, no, I'm going to do this podcast thing. Worst mistake I ever made.
All right, we got Rebby.
We all make mistakes.
Sam, a longtime producer, former intern, left in 2024 to pursue other ventures.
I gave my opportunity to meet Tony Hawk away.
Are you going to shut up about it? My God, this guy.
Just
He's
as
Still
bad.
not as good as Babymetal Double Fox.
Did you know that he was going to hold this against you for the rest of your life?
No,
This
I had
whole,
no
like,
idea.
you
I
know
would've-
you're indebted with the whole Tony Hawk thing.
I would have said I'm staying here with the ceviche.
I'll finish up. Scott York, Sean Lawson. Sean Lawson? You mean the Sean Wasson? Seth Petrozelli, Supergirl, Jen, Tactical Hat, Tiffany Martin, The Browns, The Eagle, The Wizard, Tom's Dad, Tom's Pop Pop, Tony Palmiotti, Travis, and Tuttle. There you go.
And can I
There's
just explain
more
to
than
Tom
that.
the only worst thing than you saying you gave the ticket away with the intent? That's the only way to ruin it. You've now taken yourself from the top, having the cake and eating it too. Now you don't even have cake.
Nothing. Yeah.
You didn't even get to touch the cake.
I love going from top to bottom, front to back, all of it. Also, what about Business Baby? There wasn't on there.
Oh,
A
he
business
doesn't-
bro.
They don't
I
care.
mean, what about the
I was
two people
like-
that are sitting here?
You were on there.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't on there?
No.
Okay, we'll
Brendan
put you on there.
O'Connor.
He was on
Oh,
there.
was he?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
on there. You're not listening.
I'll be honest. I was during the bees. I was looking forward for some Brown Trump love, but I
Brown Trump.
Oh, Brown
I
Trump.
guess.
Is Brown
Bringing
Trump
that
here?
back.
Is he here?
When you said characters, there were like 3 names I thought of right off the bat that didn't even
okay.
make
Kratom Carey?
Kratom Carey, Dave Ramsey. I mean, Ram Davesy, sorry.
Yeah.
Brown Trump. Oh, he's here. Brown Trump is here.
Well, guess who's back? Back again, baby.
Come on.
He jumped out the window. He's gone.
Petey the intern? Skippy?
That has not been aired yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. To be honest.
You need to bring this up with Tom has been doing bad prov. He's trying to sell the prov before it's ripe.
Sorry. I forgot. We shelved that one.
Hold on. This is the perfect time for this. Hold on. I did a song for Mr. Snarts. I haven't added his parts in yet, but...
By the way, Daniel had this puppet sitting next to him, and we had a client meeting coming here, and then Daniel started telling the client about his puppet. I'm like, don't tell him.
I like to eat so much pussy, man. Oh, yeah, pussy.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Mr. Snarts, man.
What's up, Mr. Snarts?
I eat it good.
Hold on, let me play the song. Hold on, let me play the song. Ross, hold on. Here's the Mr.
Because I want to play with Mr. Snarts. He seems like a lot of fun.
Here's the
come
Mr.
on.
I have a Mr. Snarts song. Hold on, I gotta find it. It's just it was the beginning. Oh, here. I was trying to do funk because I'm trying to learn different genres.
He looks like a funky little guy, too.
Yeah, this is funk. Here we go.
Who's that motherfucker down the block? Mr. Snarts. Mr. Snarts.
Oh, yeah, man.
Everybody looking at him while he walks. Mr. Snarts.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Snarts.
That's me, man.
No, come
The
on.
ladies all love him and the men do too. Mr. Snarts.
Mr. Snarts.
Mr. Snarts.
That's me.
And we all know what he wants to do. Eat that pussy.
I eat that pussy, man.
Come on.
Pussy. Eat that pussy. Eat that pussy. Eat that pussy.
What if the person that I met last night that I was trying to make a deal?
It's almost done. Hold on, I'm gonna seal the deal.
It's art, man.
Who's that motherfucker down the block? Mr. Snarts. Mr. Snarts.
There you go. There's the Mr. Snarts song.
I'm going to check out this show. This guy's
I want to talk to Mr. Snarts.
I'm out of
can't talk to
breath.
Mr. Snarts.
I'm out of breath.
I have so many questions. Does the pussy juice gets in his beard?
Come on.
How, what exactly? He doesn't have a tongue. What's he doing? Like, what's he doing down there? I have so many questions. He doesn't have fingers.
I don't like using my tongue. I just like using my lips. Hold on.
That's why you do it sideways, right?
This could be the new Stand 6.
Turtlehead? Why you do it sideways?
Your tongue gets tired. That thing that holds your tongue to the bottom of your mouth,
the
or whatever,
frenulum.
that thing stretches out and gets all sore for days.
Yes, that's what we deal with. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'll just use my lips.
So the equivalent, like, it's like saying, "Hey, I'm gonna get the finger," and it's all knuckles. It's just like knuckles rubbing the outside.
No, come on.
It's ridiculous.
He said he just uses his lips. So now I picture you just going down. You're like, it's fast. It's like,
Strumming a banjo.
The one, the two.
Stop.
All right.
We're gonna take a break.
It's like scissoring, but
You just mash it.
tongue's right there.
It's like scissoring, but you smash it.
No, I've seen it. They just like you mash the lips.
You and Ross are killing me today.
You're just bumping lips.
Stop! Don't say bumping lips. All right. The name of the band is Odd Marshall.
Who woke up today thinking that Tom Van and Mr. Snart both eat pussy the same way?
They eat it the same way.
The same way. That's
yeah, they're the
crazy.
same guy.
Maybe you are, Mr. Snarts.
Yeah, the name of the song is Lucky Dragon.
I also have a dry felt mouth.
We'll be right back. If you want to call in for the last segment, 1-844-TOM-NDAN. We'll be back.
I'm already buried and gone. It was beautiful, a miracle, but somehow it all went wrong. One lost there in the morning, yeah. I don't want to fly. Hang myself 1,000 times, and I know that's why. She see me in the motion room. Hang my heart outside, only coming soon.
You're listening to the industry leader, radio guys turned podcasters. And now the whole town is sucking our dicks.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to lick our balls, bitch.
What are we watching? What are we waiting for? Said the face inside of my home. What are we watching? What are we waiting for? I've seen all I need to know. 15 minutes is enough for conspiracies. Not enough time for not bombs. Modern conflicts spotted in methamphetamines. The tyranny of a mob. Sing it with me. Brothers and sisters, sing it with me. Late stage dress rehearsal. Death gone living funeral. What are we watching? What are we waiting for? Send us talking and inside my phone. You got no shame, just bullets and cocaine, and your God's flame will kill us all. Jacking off to the kink of your infamy. Save the name for a TV size. Jailing up to your fashions and fantasies. Silence and the come. Sing it with me. Brothers and sisters, sing it with me. Late stage dress rehearsal. Death come living funeral. Late stage dress rehearsal. Death come living funeral. Late stage dress rehearsal for the fall. Death come living funeral. Late stage dress rehearsal. Death come living funeral. Empire in memoriam.
Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Ross McCoy is here. Tony Monget is here. Welcome back to the show.
So for Sofa and Suds, all the sofa teams are now filled, but the recliner division still has open spots. So if you want to take a recliner, basically put wheels on it and enter for the recliner division races, you could put your business name on it. You know, you need two people.
Dress it up any way you want, right?
Basically, you push it, and then after, was it half the course? Then
you switch.
They recline the thing, and then you switch, and the other person pushes it.
I know Brown Trump, before you guys kicked him out, he was talking a lot about how you cannot enter a couch into the recliner division because there's an unfair advantage in size.
Yeah. No, this is just recliner.
A lot of people got a couch, don't have a recliner. They would think, oh, I'll just enter my couch into the recliner division. You cannot. Unfair advantage in size. Just, you know.
Yeah, all these recliners coming in here, taking the couch's jobs.
I think we got a phone call. Hey, who's this?
They're eating the pillows. Huh?
Who's this?
Hi, Tom and Dan.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man? Who is this?
My name is Tyler. You guys call me the historian typically.
Yeah. Well, would you rather be called Tyler? Because I don't want to be disrespectful. Would you rather us just call you Tyler?
No. I don't mind. I enjoy having a title on the show. It makes me feel special. But
you are special.
There are people that are a lot more.
You are special, and just keep in mind that we tell you that so you don't look up our addresses and kill us.
Personally, you ruined it for me. I'm calling you Tyler.
Once I learn someone by their radio name, I cannot call them anything else.
Yeah.
I do this.
I know, Drunky.
But that's why I don't get mad when someone does that to me.
All right.
Because if you learn someone as something first, that's it. Always I do.
That's why I never took a radio name.
That's why you always call Sean Watson Clitty Clitty Bang Bang.
That was his name.
And I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Okay, what's on your mind? What's on your mind, historian?
I had a bit of a moment of public anger, and I was just going to tell the story quickly. Also, to Ross, you are the reason I started listening, and I really do enjoy you having you on the show. So,
all right, thanks, Tyler. That being said, I'll let you borrow confrontation of the week.
Hold on. Ross is the reason you started listening to this show?
Yeah, because the first episode I ever heard was the Rat House episode, and him screaming and stuff just made me laugh.
Sold it.
His
rat anger sold it.
It was your butt.
They're like, this guy is being driven crazy by this piece of shit neighbor and his disgusting, filthy house, and it's ruining his life. It's literally tearing his family apart, and that's the show for me. You know what? Those were some pretty funny shows.
People like tragedy.
You had to laugh at it, right? Because it was pretty fucking sad.
He's back as the historian.
Yeah. All right, you're back.
I got into a fight with a Taco Bell worker, and I'm not proud of it, but I was just going to tell the story quickly.
Oh my God!
I love Taco Bell.
Yeah.
What do you think of the new? What do you think of the new? What is it? Errors menu, or it's like the '90s menu? They brought back the tostada.
Aryan menu.
They have an Aryan menu. They brought back.
I'm not a big fast food person in general, but the Cantina chicken bowl for $8 is a pretty hard to beat deal right now when it comes to maybe
An
healthy,
$8 Cantina chicken
eating.
bowl. You know, I gotta agree with you on that. But I got a tostada.
Yeah,
me and Maisie love it. We're Taco Bell. Me and May are Taco Bell for life.
They brought back the '90s gordita.
They did, and I had one for you, and I got to report back to you. They're fucking great, dude. The regular gordita way better than the crunch. You were right. You were right.
Oh, that's true.
Because I didn't get to meet Tony Hawk, I got drunk and then ate 4 gorditas. and then I had to.
Was that when you went is that when you silently went in there for about an hour this morning?
Crystal said I farted so bad in the middle of the night that she had to sleep in Tom's room.
You gordita to your wife.
Anyway,
please tell me when you came home and Tommy asked you how it was meeting Tony Hawk. You just said, I got drunk and ate 4 gorditas.
So, historian, I didn't think you had it in you to start fighting with some Taco Bell employee.
What'd you do? You throw a cash register at some black lady?
Because you don't match the stereotype in my head of the fighting with the Taco Bell employees that I see on
Don't fight
TikTok.
with people. That's a hard job.
I am a 5'7" white male. The person I was fighting with was probably like a 6'2" white guy that would have definitely kicked my ass if I gone in there. But I just want to give you the scenario, and you guys tell me what you would have done.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're good at this.
I got a Cantina chicken bowl on the app, and I got like a free chips and cheese. It's just like the
I love chips
tortilla
and cheese.
chips inside
Yeah, me
the
and
cheese.
Maisie love chips and
So-
cheese.
Little yellow cup of cheese.
Yeah, it's just a little yellow sodium cup,
yeah.
and then you dip your sodium chips in your sodium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I live in upstate New York, and there's like a Taco Bell that's been here forever. So the parking lot in the old Taco Bells, the parking lot backs into where the drive-through line goes. So if the drive-through line is full, you can't like park and get out and go into the restaurant because you'll have to wait for the line to like move for you to be able to back out of your parking space. It's like a super tiny, compact location.
I've seen this
So
movie.
I waited in. And if you get in line, you can't. If someone gets behind you, you cannot get out of it. So unfortunately, I got stuck waiting like 35 minutes in a drive-through line for food I had already ordered and paid for through the app. So I had to sit and wait. It was like, $10 or something with tax. And I finally get up he hands me my food, and I'm just I look in the bag and it's just the bowl, and I go, hey, can I just get that chips and cheese? I had it on my order. He checks. He goes, well, I have a line to move, so you're going to have to come inside to get it. That's what he says to me. First interaction.
So you
with
pull
this
your
person.
gun out. You got to pull your gun out. That's what I do.
And
I reach in the back, and I don't even go handgun. I go long gun. I go long rifle.
Can we play what Ross would do at this point? Can I
Well, you have
self-insert for
swords.
1 second?
Yeah.
No, I would if the guy said if I waited that long, order comes out, it's incomplete, and I ask for him to complete my order, and he gives me guff, and specifically about moving the line.
God, that's a good word, guff.
I would visibly and like with much malice put my car into park and say, well, good luck moving the fucking line until I get my goddamn little yellow cup of cheese.
I want to show your hands. You're going to fold your hands over your knee like that. Look at that.
I would take my hands completely out of play in the operation of my vehicle and let him know that his line would not be moving.
You're putting your hands up like
not 1 inch further until I got my fucking chips.
You would have played the.
No, see, at that point, you know you're not going to be eating that food because that guy is going to do something.
I'm
to it.
absolutely
it's
not
very
going to
hard-
eat that
it's
cheese, but
very
I'm going
hard
to get it.
come with a full line in your drive-thru.
That cheese is going to be tampered with, and I'm not going to eat it, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it from this
I don't think
motherfucker.
people come in your tacos because it's too hard to get. It's too hard to ejaculate.
Yeah. It takes too long.
It takes too long.
Yeah. Plus, you're
You're not
It's a
horny.
lot of pressure with the beeping and the.
Yeah, you're not horny. You know, the guy's yelling at you. I'm like, hold on a second, I'm coming in your tacos.
Yeah, you have diabetes. It's hard.
Stop yelling at me. I can't get a boner to jack off of your tacos.
First of all, what are all you?
35 minutes,
You
probably.
just say thank you and drive away.
The theme of today's show, is to grow a fucking pear and not be a fucking doormat for these goddamn
Hold on, historian.
people.
Just let's take a pause real quick. There was
I was feeling crazy. I like yelling.
There was a certain period of time in this society that we live in where you had to look at fast food places, and we're living in it right now. I think it was like basically after the pandemic or whatever. Like I look at all fast food.
Oh, they're terrible.
And I'm like,
I've told you that.
It's amazing that we're still able to do this.
It's terrible. Yeah, they're all bad.
Because no one wants to work these places. They're still cheap. I went to a Taco Bell one time with Crystal, and then we were like, hello? Like this is in Miami.
Like a haunted house.
I thought, and then the person that came on the speaker, they're like, hey. And then there are people laughing. Hey, what the fuck you want, motherfucker? There were people laughing in the background, like they were all smoking weed in the place. Like, and then we saw someone run.
Did Crystal do the Karen thing? She's like, I see you inside there.
No,
You don't see shit, bitch.
we saw the people run inside, the employees, when we pulled up, and they were like, "Hey!" And then
they were smoking weed out back.
And then they were laughing.
That's what everybody should do if you work at
And then
Taco Bell. You should be
and
smoking
then
weed outside.
Crystal,
Yes.
Crystal was like, "Hello."
I saw you. I can smell your marijuana cigarettes, and I'm here.
And then I'm like,
I'm here
"Babe,"
for the 90s menu, and I will not leave until I have 2 tostadas.
and I'm like, "Just drive away. This is our fault." And so we drove away.
I'm not driving away. I'm
No,
going
no.
to make a point. Citizens arrest.
We-
Hello. Citizens arrest in there.
If anything bad happens at fast food restaurants, it is your fault. It is the customer's fault. That's it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
historian.
I agree with the social contract you're mentioning, Tom, to a point. I just draw the line. I just got to get what I paid for. You can treat me like shit.
No, that was free. No, that was free. Hold on, historian, that was free. You didn't pay for that. You didn't pay for that.
But he had to eat a lot of chicken bowls
But
to
the
get
reason
that.
I did, yeah, exactly. Like that was what my order was. I just want my order. Call me names, make fun of me, do what you want. That's fine. I love it. I think it's hilarious.
Give me what the ticket says.
I've worked.
You just get what you get. You drive away. It doesn't matter what.
No, I mean, you guys know me well enough to know that I'm gonna get my fucking cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get my
No,
cheese.
you drive away and you
It's
say,
not
"This is
even
my
a hot.
You don't even eat your food.
No. You eat whatever they give
You
you.
give the man that's giving you your food, you give him money, and you go, I'm sorry. I inconvenience you. Here's $10 for your trouble.
Here's where I dug my heels in. I'll tell you quickly. I thought he misheard me because to have me pull around and park and go, I'd be there another half an hour. So I go, oh no, man, not anything to make, just the chips and cheese. Like it's something you don't have to make it or heat it up. It literally is just there. You can just hand it to me.
Did you have your hand on your gun? You should have had your hand on your gun.
No gun. And he goes, listen, buddy, I've got a line to move. You're going to have to come around. And that's when I said, oh, no, I'm going to sit right here until you give me what I paid for. Or
That's
like,
when you
what
say,
I know.
that's when you say, I've got 9 millimeters. So, you got to think of something crazy. You got to think, I'll give you 9 reasons. You got to think of something cool to say.
No, you have to be
I
subtle
did
about it.
threaten his life.
You put your
You
car.
did? You threatened his life?
No, historian.
Yes,
hold
you're on the right track. You're like, I'll fucking kill you for this chips and cheese. I'm the fucking historian.
No. Okay, this is why. All right. So he begrudgingly goes back, gets the chips and cheese, but here to be
I put the head of my dick in it.
No, he scooped the cheese directly into the bag of chips, which I did not realize until in my 2013 Corolla with cloth seats, I pulled it across my body and put it down and see nacho cheese on the middle console of my car in my passenger.
Oh, fuck. I'd get my
And
gun.
that's when I
Dom
got
knows me.
mad.
Yeah, I don't have guns, but if I did, I'd shotgun the whole place up. Gah, gah, gah. You don't fuck up the interior of my car, man. I'd be blasting the chandeliers out.
This is your
Blast
fault.
the menu. Blah, blah, blah.
This is another sign of the continuing breakdown of society because this is happening all over the place. There's a sandwich place that does like a little bit of like vinegar and oil on your sandwich. And they have a name for it. They call it. Let's say they call it the cup, right?
Oh.
We put the cup on your thing, and I asked for the cup to go.
You can talk about it. It's the
Okay,
juice,
it's
right?
and they call it the juice. It says on the thing, your sandwich comes with juice. I went and got a sandwich the other day, and I said, hey, can I get juice on the side? Which is so fucking standard because it doesn't travel super well with the juice on it. It gets the bread wet. So standard. They usually even keep a couple of them like ready right there. I said, can I get the juice on the side? And the lady was like, what do you mean? And I was like, the thing on the menu that you advertised.
Say it louder, like an Italian. I think I said I want the fucking juice on the
I said,
side.
so can I get the juice on the side? And she's like, well, okay. And then she got like and when I got home, she'd given me like 1.5 inches of fucking oil and a splash of, and I'm like,
drive back. My dad would have. You know how
I
many
was
times
too
my dad
hungry.
went back and
I was
forth
too
between
hungry.
Wendy's?
Okay.
My dad went to a Wendy's one time 5 times to get his burger
but
right.
there's a breakdown in society where people can't do the thing that's on the menu anymore. That's like,
Everybody needs to listen up. This is all of society's fault because the fast food workers told us all, they're like, we need to get paid more for doing this horrible, this job is so horrible.
It's a shitty job.
You have to pay us more. And society's like, what? How dare you?
I want my juice on the side, you bitch.
Yeah, you're like, you want $15 an hour? What is this? You work at the Taj Mahal?
And people think that bringing back manufacturing jobs is going to solve everything when people can fucking put
Well,
the juice on the side.
And then we all refuse to pay
Welcome
them.
back to 5 old men, or 4 old men, rather.
But we refuse to pay them the $15, and this is what we get now. So this is our fault. This is society's fault. We should blame ourselves, and then move on.
I mean, this guy, you're going too far. This guy just wanted his juice on the side.
and like in my defense, only because like I feel
I
like
just wanted my nacho cheese.
Yeah, did you get your cheese? Like, what happened? So you said you threatened the
Okay,
guy's
we had a
life.
bag of
I mean,
cheese.
what did you do?
Yeah, and I'm wrong for this. I'm 100% wrong for this. But I was sitting at the hospital all day. I'm taking care of my grandparents. They both have cancer now.
Man,
no
I'm
one cares.
sorry.
It's a nightmare. I'm living a nightmare. And this is wrong. I did what
Well,
he
at
is
least
doing
the
to me. I
nightmare
did back to him, and that's
Close to ending.
Yeah, that's true. You will wake up soon. Yeah.
Sorry.
Um,
I told
no, you're
myself
okay.
I'd say anything now.
So-
So I had to say it.
I
Sorry.
believe it. Just do it.
So once there's nacho cheese, I have obsessive compulsive disorder. I've been hospitalized in the mental because it gets so bad sometimes.
It doesn't sound like it, but I believe
my
you.
car dirty. 'Cause you're being smug and you're getting my car dirty that I obsess over. That's what made me snap a bit. And I told him, I turned back to him, I go, listen, man, I've been polite. If you make me come in there and wait, I am going to do my best to physically hurt you. And then I explained the scenario to him where I have the Eagles' Peaceful, Easy Feeling on as I'm crushing him with my Corolla against the fryer, essentially severing him in half.
Yeah.
But I can't hear
this
it
motherfucker's
because the radio is
psycho.
so,
I love a good psycho caller. Yeah, I knew you would turn psycho.
The psych-storian.
I know it's
Get it out.
Mr. But I
Better out
wanted to
than
kill
in.
that man. to dirty my car because I'm asking for what I ordered.
Okay,
It's
important
like-
question. Important question. Did you get the cheese out?
Yes, I have. Like, I have all the. I invest in like Shark steam mops and extractors and stuff because
Okay,
I'm
great.
so obsessive about cleaning.
By the way,
my property.
I
so-
knew
Yeah.
I knew he was psycho, but the amount of times he's called the show.
Yeah,
So
I
anybody,
like that.
anybody that calls a radio show
This many times.
or a
We'll
podcast
end up crushing a Taco Bell worker with his 23 Corolla against the fryer.
I mean, that part was easy to figure out, but you also knew his grandparents were dying, and you had that joke written way in advance, which is weird.
Well, we've known for a minute.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for a minute. I'm sorry that you're.
Yeah, they've been dying.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're dealing with all. They're doing all right. They're they're no pain.
Oh no! It's all paid. The American health system has collapsed. I mean, it is.
Tell
I'm
us
watching
more
people
about
die in the ER lobby.
Oh,
Yeah,
you've seen
it's,
people die in the ER lobby? My
yeah,
God, take their nacho
yeah,
cheese.
strokes and heart attacks.
They don't need it.
Yeah.
All right, historian.
Point is, all I'm saying is, the opposite of insanity is just patience. But I think most people's patience are wearing thin. So I imagine these interactions like this that I am ashamed of will only increase, especially with like the political
Should
stuff
I
going
flag
on
this
and
phone call?
a lot of apathy.
Well, Tony's closest to the board. Tony, write him down on the pedophile curse list.
I like all the fast food employees are sitting back and they're like, well, they didn't want us to pay us. They didn't want to pay us more, and they want everything to go right. Like, this is how they want it all.
But I'm still gonna put my dickhead in the cheese. I'm still gonna do it.
They're like, they don't want to pay us.
They want their cake.
What were you saying, buddy?
Tom, it is interesting though. Like, don't you see it's obviously very wealthy people that are the ones that could pay people more but don't. But I typically see people of lower income status, like myself or even lower, treat rich people with like automatic respect. Like they just automatically treat them well, and then the people like.
Well, they're
there's a
better
lot
than
of, like,
us
self-hatred.
because they're rich. That's how it works.
But are they if they're not willing to pay or like? I
That's
disagree.
how they stay
I
rich.
think they're worse.
Is by not paying.
Do you know how society works, historian? The rich are better.
Yeah, everything is held together by a series
You look
of
up to the
conflict.
rich.
Yeah, I've said
That's
that
how
for-
I've always lived my life.
I hung up on him because we keep moving. Because I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry that happened to you.
It
Call
sucks
him
when
the
the hospice.
historian.
When the hospice won't get you juice right, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel bad for him. Like I don't do.
On the side?
I used to be, you know me. I used to smart off real bad, and I don't do that much anymore. I don't really pop off at the old restaurants anymore. I used to probably do it. I'm not proud of it, but I used to be a little more outspoken.
Do you guys think rich people are better than you?
No.
You don't?
No.
That I've lived that way and still do my entire life. But anybody with more money, I immediately think, well, this guy's better than I am.
But I've seen a lot of rich people do like a lot of really shitty things.
No, I know, yeah. But
So I always
I've
kind
seen
of
it too.
assume that's the only thing going for me since I'm not rich, because I'd like to be rich. The fact that I'm not rich, the only thing going for me is that I think I'm actually a pretty decent human.
No, I'm not talking about like Epstein or something. Just I'm saying a random person that you don't know, but just makes more money than
That's
you.
what you're
like,
saying, because if it was just how much money, Epstein would be a good guy.
Right.
It's a range of factors.
It
and
is.
In my opinion, yes, being rich does make you better.
That's how. I'm
We're
not
not
saying
all
it's right.
We're not all trying to be poor. We're not all giving our stuff
that's
away.
not the game.
Like, no.
That's not the game.
And I'm not thinking, but I don't look like that. Like poor people are less than I am. I just always looked at if you had more money than me, you're better than me.
No, I think as a kid I used to think that, but then when I started to meet rich people, especially through the radio station, I think I'm more trained now to think if I meet you and you have money, and we met a couple people last night, and I'm just being real. There were some people that I didn't know that I met that are stinking rich, and I didn't get a good vibe. I think because now I see them and I'm like, ooh, that guy's cutthroat, or that guy's bloodthirsty.
But then you meet Tony Hawk and you know he's got
super
tons of money, and you know he's a cool guy.
That was a
but
weird.
he's 1,000 times better than me. Like,
Yeah.
that's, in my scale of who's better,
Right,
like I
right.
look around, I'm like better.
So are you constantly is it always microtransactions of like better?
I thought
better,
everybody
better.
thought like that.
You've got, but there's
I
a
think
lot.
I did as a kid.
There's a lot of different sliders though. You've got Mo DeWitt, who has like
Oh,
money,
better than me. money.
And he used it, yes, obviously. But he has money, but he uses it for stuff like he's always giving money away, putting on comedy shows, sending people to Gatorland for free, sign up for his email club and stuff like that. And then you got Epstein, his slider, he's all his money to set up a private island to rape people. And so like that slider, it brings you way down. Like even though he probably has more money than Mo, he's a worse person.
B
you know,
is
like,
rich.
There you go. A lot of the other sliders though, way down.
I know. I'm not saying it's logical. I'm just saying it's
No,
that's
I know
always
what you mean.
been
I mean,
in my head.
I know as a kid I used to think that. I know as a kid I used to, in DeLand, there was like some old families that had old money, like where they owned city blocks, you know, and you'd go to those kids' houses and like see what they have, and their garages would be like a, what do you call it? Like being in an airplane hangar, and it's like the guys' cars are all there, and it's like, oh, this is my dad's Corvette collection. I'm like walking around looking at this, and I'd be like,
this is better than my dad.
Yeah, this is no, I'm serious. That you would kind of weigh that, and you'd be like, well, why did my dad? I think the way that I thought about it, to go with what you're saying, I would think about it like, well, why did my dad just stop trying? Which is kind of a shitty thing to say, right? But I think that's what I thought.
If he'd have tried harder, we have this
right, like,
airplane
I was
hangar.
like, this guy's really trying. My dad, he's just fucking off.
But it's true. My sons are like, why don't we reservations this person? I'm like,
because I fuck around with your midget friend.
I obviously failed. What else is there? That's the truth. Anyway.
You know what, Tom? It's internally consistent, and you apply it to yourself. It's completely valid. It's a good system.
You want to do a couple of voicemails and get out of here? All right, we'll just do a couple.
Yeah, Tom's going to go home and eat dinner, which to him means bumping it against his lips.
Let's do this one right here.
Tom, Dan, BDM Mike, listen to all these BDMs calling saying you need to call the 1095ers. As a 1095er, I think you need to scale it back. They're obviously not listening to you. You're drowning. I think you do every other Friday is just a best of mediocre time. Ooh. 3 days a week for a corporate time. And then OG shows only for BDMs. Lucky to get it. Love you guys, BDM for life.
That's an aggressive stance.
The people are clamoring for you guys to take a vacation.
Yeah. That's
a good sign.
Wisconsin.
They're like,
that's when you know you really have got it dialed in. When your constituencies like looking at you and they're like, we need less.
Listen,
I'm
more
like,
rock, less talk.
Yeah.
Always been the thing.
Oh
right?
man, Super Dave got fired.
Really?
Allegedly. I shouldn't have said that. Not my business.
Don't worry, we just told you.
I don't know. I'm a chatty Cathy.
Why did that pop into your head?
I'm a chatty Cathy.
Why did that pop into your head at the end of the show for no reason?
Things pop into my head all the time. Like you just said, why'd that pop into your head? And I just said better ingredients, better pizzas. That's what I was thinking when you said that.
Well, things pop into Dog the Bounty Hunter's head all the time. And
No,
he's
they
like,
don't. There's nothing popping in there.
And he's like,
There's nothing.
I shouldn't say that again. So he holds his tongue.
I like to give our listeners the tea, and I like that guy. There's nobody in this city that's more rock than that guy. So if he's gone, that's not good.
Listen, you still got 104.1 HD3, the Pirate. But the AC2, that hip-hop station they got is not bad, too.
Not bad?
Personal favorite right now, I'm listening to a lot of XL HD2, which is Pride Radio.
Okay.
And if you just imagine, like, just all gay bangers, it is a big gay party 24 hours a day.
Right.
It is amazing.
Big gay bangers.
Hey, can't you just search like play gay music and Spotify and then all the
Every day I do.
I'm in my Subaru. It's right there on the HD.
And then also, sir, where are we going to put the commercials? We need the commercials.
Yeah, we do. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that this is a business, and they do think we're just fucking around.
It's surprising that there's no commercials on the Pirate. It's like people don't even want to advertise on that.
It's almost as if no one's listening to it.
There's no money to be made. Why
And
is
it's
this
completely computer programmed.
It's just me and the AI.
It's literally just you and a computer driving around Orlando. Ross and his personal pirate.
Yeah. If you don't hear commercials on a show, you have to start asking yourself, like, what is happening here? Like,
Do you want me to
why
end
are
with
they
this?
doing
Do you want me to end with this?
No, come on. I was hoping that you forgot about it.
Do you think I could do this? Do you
Daniel's
think I
like,
could do
I
it?
want to pee in this
I wanna
bag.
pee.
Well, see,
Okay,
because I want to know what that.
Okay, so Maisie and Andrea, we'll end with this. This is the last thing for the Friday. Maisie and Andrea bought me these at Costco. They went to Costco and they came back. They're like, we got something for you. This is better than your Fun Spot pee jug that you pee in because you like to drink beers when we're driving places. And they bought me these Ujmi disposable personal urinal bags.
I need that.
And it also works for girls. You can fold
you can bump the lips.
You can bump the lips in there. You can just do it like that.
Oh, yes, that's how.
Amazing. Tom, Mr. Skanky, and the fucking piss bucket, all the exact same method of being pussy.
Mr. Skanky. But you open this up, and you can put your dick and balls in here, and you pee, and there's a gel pouch in there that turns this into, and then you can use it as a, to keep your boat from hitting against a dock.
It's the same shit that like a magician would use in a newspaper funnel?
Yeah, this is a newspaper funnel. Watch me make my piss disappear. You pee in it? I told Andrew I want to pee in it and then fling it out the sunroof.
See, I thought this was like the shit in the box where you send it off for analysis, but this is just for like comfort sake.
Do you want some?
I have to pee now.
Do you want to try it?
Can I try it?
Yeah, do you
no,
want to
come
do
on.
it?
We're not
do it. Make him
doing some Baba Booey.
Yeah, we're Baba Booey.
No.
We're booeying.
No.
Hey, make the puppet describe what he's doing.
Hold on. Hot, wet bitches.
Hey now.
Yeah,
so
let's
is this
do it.
supposed to be in your car in like the glove box as emergencies?
It's got directions, Tom.
You just put a couple in there. You slip one in your purse. You put one in your pocket. Maybe Tony's out skating.
It's got 6 pictures.
He's got a hard skate session.
Describing you what you can use it for.
Yeah, walk us through it, Tony.
One of it says emergency, which...
Yeah, but emergency in a car. If you're outside, you could just pee in the bushes.
I think, you know what? I think it would be completely okay if I walked down to Maisie's school to pick her up, and while we're standing there waiting for her to pick it up, if I just slip the pouch down into my pants.
As long as nobody sees anything.
As long as nobody sees anything, and I'm just peeing into it, then I just pull it out of my pants. I don't think there's any problem with that. It's a little unconventional, but I don't see a problem with that.
How about this? That show we just went to, the floor of that Babymetal show, there was thousands of people packed into like a couple 100 square feet of room, and if you get in there, you're not getting out again, and if you get out to go pee, you're not getting back in.
I
So
bet
if
I could fill it up.
Or you could even be in there, say, waiting for Babymetal, and be like, oh my God, I'm having an emergency. I better get my piss pouch out.
I do big pisses, dude.
And then what do you do
every
with the
one
gel?
of my pisses? Every one of my pisses. Every single one of them. 24 ounces. Every single one.
It
They're
seems like you
huge.
can just throw it away. Like you find a trash can and
Yeah, you throw it away.
But in the scenario I described, where like you're going to see if humanity, what do you do?
Or you just drop it on the ground.
so it says
Fair enough.
emergency, travel,
It ends
camping,
up in the circle pit.
sickness, hiking, and the last one is pregnant.
Yeah.
All right.
Should I try it? Or you don't want to be a part of that, right?
So the hiking thing, they did say, like when we did that.
Maybe you're
hike
waiting
in the
for
desert,
your cantina chicken bowl, and it's taking too long. You piss in your bag.
They were like, don't pee on the desert fungus that grows out, whatever, because it's it takes 100 years to grow back or whatever.
Why do we need it? It's desert. It's fungus. It's
Because the
desert
plants
fungus.
need it to live. And, it's the whole thing.
No, they don't.
It's like organic crust that the desert uses.
And you can pee it away.
You're not
That's
supposed to
bullshit. I
disturb
think
it.
that's all bullshit.
One
One little squirt of pee is gonna wash away all the fucking fungus for the year.
But I think you could pee on rocks and things that, as long as it's not the desert crust. And then the other
How do you know
other
what's
hikes,
the crust?
like if you're hiking,
DPAs, designated peeing areas.
you can pee on trails. You can't poop. They don't want you to poop there. But peeing,
Well, where
they
can you
don't-
poop?
You have to poop in a bag.
That's not a pooping bag. That's a peeing bag.
And not until you try it.
I mean, I
Well,
asked
I'm pretty
Andrew if
sure
I
I
could
can.
poop into it. Andrew, mine are too long.
Well, you poop into you poop on the floor.
I mean,
and
I
then you-
do. I got like
It'll
like,
soft serve up in there.
No, mine don't break. They don't break. It's like Pantene Pro V. The strength of my hair.
Don't put yourself down, Nate. If you had to, you could poop in a cone in a spiral and make it like cone off.
I think I could. Yeah, I think I could.
I've never pooped into a bag holding it against my anus.
Okay, all right. All right, we love you, Tom. Everybody clap for him. That's a big admission.
Has anybody?
We love you, Tom.
I pooped in the woods before, but I've
Okay.
never held something against my butt and pooped in it. But I know people that have.
Oh, okay, it does say for liquid waste only.
Lick that pussy.
But it also says do not swallow the absorbent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people like to pee in the bag and they're like, oh,
Right.
snow cone.
Well, we're not peeing in that during the show.
Okay. All right.
No one wants that.
Put his foot down.
No one thinks that's entertaining.
You guys heard that, Mr. Fun? Put his foot down.
Do you want him to just jack off in it?
That's what I heard.
I mean, what is it? No, this is not a.
That's what I heard. And I see a boner.
Is that
God, Ross, you're quick.
90s terrestrial radio where like pee in a bag or a diaper used to be like, oh my God, they're doing it. Like you could do anything you want on
I mean, they're all
podcasts.
saying it. We want it, Tom.
They don't want it.
Yeah.
Four guys, internet, piss bag. Come on, let's go.
Four guys,
want it.
internet, piss. I'm
There's
writing a
nothing
song about that.
entertaining about it.
I'm writing a song about that. We'll do it next week.
No, I mean, we got to do a circle piss. We got to all piss in it.
I don't want that.
Piss.
No
We
one
got
wants
to
that.
all piss in it and overflow it.
Circle piss.
No one wants to
What if
hear
we
that.
all piss in it and then we combine into one crazy piss baby?
If everybody in the chat room types all caps, circle piss, circle piss, circle piss,
No.
we will do it.
Babymetal
We'll do it
has
here.
circle pits.
Yeah.
Tom and Dan, we
Right,
have circle
circle
pits.
pits.
No one wants
Circle
that.
piss.
No, it's just, you guys have been hanging out, going to bring too much.
We've been
together.
had too much bro time. We're crazy.
Yeah. They just want they want to recap last night's Thursday night football
Yeah.
game. And they just want, some stories.
We really testosteroned up watching Scene Queen with her anti-male boner cutting off message. We really testosteroned up.
Let's get out of here. Let's plug some stuff and get out of here.
Where are you going to be at, Ross?
The Orlando Talk Show with me, Ross McCoy. Check that out on any podcast apps of your favorite choosings. See me at the Bull and Bush first and third Saturdays for Shit Sandwich, and we also do open mic on Wednesdays.
Tony, where can people hire you if they want some pictures?
Yeah, you can go to monjatphoto.com. You can go actually to Instagram as well, at monjatphoto. I have an improv show on December 14th.
Is it going to be like Christmas themed?
No, it's actually going to be a big one. It's going to be our number 50.
Okay.
And the name of my group is I Am 50 Million.
I want to go to this because I told you the next time you have one roll around, I want to make it out to support you.
So it is December 14th at the Winter Springs Performing Center, also known as The Stage.
Very cool.
See, I'm going to sit there with horrible anxiety the whole time, like, oh my God, Tony's not going to know what to do.
No, because we didn't talk about that from last night, like about the Tony Hawk thing. You thought that
I prepared myself. No.
he'd convinced himself.
I'm telling you that in confidence.
Okay, I won't say it.
I'm telling a friend that amongst friends.
But you were telling me and Tony legitimately thought you were insane for saying that.
No, when I was driving, I think to myself, I was like, what if I'm sitting there at the talk and then Grant Brittain...
They put a spotlight right on you.
No, because they did say they were doing Q&A from the audience, and I was like, what
But they
if...
don't force you to do that. I just want to let you know.
Sometimes they do.
No,
Sometimes
No, they don't.
That's not
No,
a thing.
yes, it
That's
is.
never been.
No.
You
It
created
is.
that in your
No,
brain.
because
That's an
sometimes...
irrational fear, Tom.
The amount of times I've been in an event and a butler comes up and taps me on the shoulder and says, "Sir, it's time for your question. Here's your microphone."
No, this is an irrational fear like flying.
No,
It
okay,
is.
no. Sometimes during Q&As, the moderator doesn't have the audience doesn't have any questions, but they think they do. They think a bunch of people are gonna raise their hands.
So keep your hand down, dumbass.
no, but
You're
no,
like,
but
fuck, it's going up.
It's not like an auction where, like, if you flinch, suddenly you have to answer a question.
No,
you know,
You scratch your nose. They're like, yes, sir.
sometimes no one raises their hand, and the moderator freaks out, and then they look around, and they're like, "You, do you have a question?"
No, listen, that's
not a thing.
I hosted that Channel 5 fucking thing, and there never was a moderator in more need of a question. I didn't look to the fucking audience. Those savages, no.
I did this one time. Adrian Heath. Goddamn. So
he did this.
So I ran out of questions. I was like, "Who's got questions?" No one said shit, and I was like, "You, the tall guy." And then it was like, "Oh."
And he was like, "Oh shit! They didn't tell me they were gonna force me to ask a question."
And then he made
so
up
you
some
invented
shit.
your own thing, your own nightmare. You invented your own nightmare.
Wow.
It's like you said you were afraid of Pinhead, but you are Pinhead.
Well, and then I was afraid.
I'm fucking crying.
Freddy Krueger's having nightmares.
And then I thought, Grant Brittain, what if he just looked us up one time, or he knew it was me, and he's like, "Oh, Tom, that radio guy, he must know a question." And then they go.
So
So I had to prepare a question.
He's like, "I'm freaking out on the ride over here because what if Grant Brittain asked me a question?" I'm like, "Why the fuck would Grant Brittain ask
No,
you?
just in case.
Nobody gives a fuck
No,
about it.
the moderator.
No, nobody gives a fuck about it.
So obviously,
freaks out. He's freaking out because he didn't have any questions.
you're driving with anxiety about this. Did you come up with a question?
Yes, he did. did.
Grant-
He told me, "Did you prefer your question?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'll just tell him I don't have one."
Grant, did you ever play Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
No. I was gonna ask Tony. I was like, do you think your grandson will be able to play guitar, or be a better guitar player, or a better skater?
See, he did think about this. That's a good question. That's a good
because
question.
his grandson
That's
is
a good
goddamn
question.
Kurt Cobain's grandson.
Yeah.
So they got the genes of the skater, guitar player, and then everybody would probably laugh.
No, but you know what's really going to happen, and I feel bad for this.
But then I thought,
it's
what
going to
if
be
t-
a neither scenario. That's going to be a dud.
What if Tony Hawk's like, don't ever talk about my fucking grandson? I thought about that scenario too, and then I backed myself out of the
Hold on
question.
a second. He starts taking his shirt off. He's like, I'm going to beat this motherfucker up for talking about my grandson. Who wants to see Grandpa Hawk whip this motherfucker's ass?
And then they
Give me
are-
a hell yeah. He becomes stone cold all of a sudden.
You know
That's
what
I
is
think
always
about.
good in a live Q&A is a question that like 3/4 of the audience is going to have explained to them. That's always good. This does though explain.
I only care what Tony Hawk thinks.
Oh my God, that's
this
funny.
does explain. Last week we were doing a corporate times and we were interviewing a famous musician, and I asked him a question and he said, "That's a great question, Ross." And you did something I've never seen happen in a live interview ever before. You broke in and said, "Excuse me, no, it's not." you explained why, despite both of us being in agreement, I had not asked a good question. It was pretty good. Go listen to last week's ACT. I'm not sure exactly where you'll find it.
Well, he said that was a great question, and I questioned whether it was or not.
then-
Because he
Yeah,
asked him
sure
what his
did.
favorite song
No,
was.
you didn't even question. You insisted it wasn't.
And then,
Well,
because I know both of them pretty well, I was like, which one was better? Because I have to play my role, which is to sit back and stare at it like I did at Hard Rock.
Exactly.
I just wanted to point out that he may have just said that as a nicety, and it wasn't actually.
They were both great questions, actually. You guys did a good job on that. Go back and listen to that, because I realize now that because election night, very few people probably heard us talk to Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates. So go
Also-
back and give that some love. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest people we've ever talked to in the world.
Also, Monday night, a Ram Daisy segment that made me
Yes,
laugh
that's a
after
funny
the
one.
fact got preempted by Monday Night Football. So
It's
go check
all in the
that
best stuff. I put that in the best. And
it's
we
all
also
in the
Howard
podcast.
Jones. Howard Jones. Here's
Yeah.
something we're going to start doing, and you heard it here first. Howard Jones, because he is an older man that's always been involved in technology. His publicist is like, he only does interviews on Zoom audio. That's it. He doesn't do the video, just Zoom audio. And the audio quality is unbelievably good. I don't know why we don't just do that. Why don't we just, why are we even using phones? Just do the audio. It's fine. And the delay there's not as much of a delay on the audio only for some reason. I don't know.
It is odd that we haven't adopted just the digital phone call more, because we get a Felipe Esparza garbled phone mess when someone's on a regular landline with a speakerphone on. Anyway.
Yeah, it's terrible. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Love you both. Thanks for being here. It's really fun.
And again, Sofa and Suds, the free beer fest. Will be dressed like a cowboy tomorrow.
Are you really gonna do it?
Well, I have to buy some sort of Western
Get the
wear.
foamy. You're the
No,
big
I'm not
foamy.
wearing a hat.
I'll wear a foamy cowboy hat.
Wear
just
the
to be
leather
funny.
harness and boots.
Oh, that'd be good.
Chaps.
That'd be good.
All right, we'll see you on Monday.